Hey guys, so we are going to do things a little differently today. I wanted to do an ASMR of all the little rituals I do before I go into my reading. I had a ton of requests from you guys to show you how I set my space and how I prepare for tarot readings. So this is it, and I turned it into a little aesthetic ASMR, so I hope you guys will enjoy. And I also wanted to mention to you guys that this video is sponsored by Keen. I think it's so important going into the new year, especially with this new moon, that you guys all set your intentions for the year, whether those are spiritual, financial, romantic. It's so important to go into it with a clear vision of what you want to accomplish, and Keen can really help with that. They have such an affordable way to start. It's $1.99 for a 10-minute reading, which is absolutely insane. And they have advisors who can really give you guidance going into the new year of your goals. And also, you can check in with them regularly to make sure you're on track with that. That's what I really love about them. And I have met with a lot of Keen advisors that have given me advice on specific goals that I wanted to accomplish and ways to achieve them. And that's what's so great about Keen. Another cool thing that happened, which isn't about New Year goals, but is my grandmother came through in the last reading so clearly, and it was so validating to hear that she stands out my window. The Keen advisor actually described the exact scene that she looks out on, which kind of tripped me out because it was so accurate. And just to know that she's always around me, it means the world to me. And there's so many cool insights that come through during the Keen readings. That's because they vet all their advisors. All of them are super high quality. And of course, the cost of the advisors are going to vary based on their pricing. But for me, I just have had such amazing experiences with them. And I love also that they're available 24/7, which means you can call at 3 a.m. if you're a night owl like me, or if you're an early riser and you want to talk to someone at 4:30 a.m., that's fine. Or if you want to talk to someone in the middle of the afternoon, you can do that. I think that they're making psychic readings so accessible because most of the time I feel like psychic advisors, you have to be paying like hundreds of dollars and live in Malibu, and it's a very bougie experience. But with Keen, it really can be open to anyone. And I really can't emphasize enough how helpful they are as a tool to build your spiritual toolkit of plans and goals that you have. They will really help you put together a vision for the new year and give you insight as to things to avoid, things to focus on, pitfalls you need to be looking out for, and things that might be blessings coming in. So getting that personalized reading one-on-one is so valuable and so amazing. And of course, with being a new customer, you do get that 10 minutes for $1.99 deal. And so it's incredibly affordable. So definitely visit my link, which is trykeen.com/Briar. Link is in my bio, and I'm going to show you guys really quick how easy it is to sign up. So if you guys wanted to get a love reading, for example, you would navigate over to the love reading section. Then you can scroll down and find all kinds of information about the different readers, from the number of reviews they've had, the number of readings they've done, how long they've been at it, their star rating, and just all kinds of information you would want to see. Then you can click on the name of the person you want, and you can find out even more information about them, their special skills, the languages they speak, any specialties they have, and you can read their bio as well, find out their pricing, and anything you could want to know, they have it on there. Then you can scroll back up and either chat now or arrange call. Arrange call is speaking with them, and it's literally that easy. So I really hope you guys will give it a shot. I think it's so important at the beginning of the year to set those intentions for the rest of the year and to really have those spiritual goals. And I feel like Keen is so exceptional at that. Their readers can really put you on track and give you the insights you need as far as goals, as far as what you can accomplish or what you should be looking out for. And it's honestly just such an amazing company that really makes psychic readings accessible for everyone at any time and at any price range. So definitely give it a shot and get that 10 minutes for $1.99 deal at trykeen.com/Briar. I'm so excited for you guys to try it because I know y'all are going to love it, and I've heard such great feedback from those of you guys who have tried it. So give it a shot, you guys. So anyway, let's start talking about today's reading. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about what you don't see coming. So what is going to be heading your direction that is going to come as a big surprise and you are not going to be expecting. So for today, we have this beautiful selection of cakes. They look so good. I definitely want to eat them, but so we are going to start from number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and I'll show you guys up close as well. So this one is pile number 1, and it is a lovely vanilla cake with a cherry on top and a lovely walnut. It looks really tasty. Then we have pile number 2. This one is for chocolate lovers, although of course, always make your decisions based on which one you feel energetically called to, not necessarily the one you would order, but this one is chocolatey goodness. It looks so good. And number 3, I think this might be like a caramel flavor. It's got delicious glazed fruit on top, like a blueberry. I think that might be a cranberry, maybe a golden raisin, and some walnuts. And lovely piping on all of these. And then finally, number 4. This one is a nice combo of that chocolate with the glazed fruit on top. It looks to me like there's a cherry, maybe a kiwi, a blueberry, and a little pineapple slice. It looks so good. These seriously are making me really hungry, but hopefully you guys feel energetically called to one of them. And if you need to spend more time deciding, feel free to pause, rewind, take as much time as you need. You can mute me if you need to, whatever works, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile 1. Pile 1. So if you guys picked this vanilla cherry cake, this is going to be your reading. I absolutely love the detail on the walnut right there. They did such a great job, as well as on this chocolate fan, which is kind of like the thing you would see in like a fancy pastry shop, the chocolate detailing. And the cherries as well look super real with the little glaze over them. They just did such a great job on this. And there's like coconut, I think, dusted on the sides. I mean, honestly, it makes me hungry just to look at. But anyway, let's get right into your reading. So you guys got the Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands, the Emperor, Justice, Two of Swords, the High Priestess, King of Wands, Seven of Wands, Eight of Cups, Two of Wands reversed, Ace of Cups, and Knight of Swords. So if you guys wanted to get a love reading, for example, you would navigate over to the love reading section, coming through, and honestly, a lot of wands, especially having the King of Wands and Knight of Wands. I do wonder with the Emperor if this is a powerful male for some of you guys coming in, maybe someone who might be a romantic figure and have a lot of power or a lot of sexual energy that they're going to be directing towards you. I feel like with all these cards, the vibe is that, first of all, things are going to change, and it's almost like you guys are coming into your power. I almost feel like you guys are stepping up into another realm. Like, I feel like for some of you guys, you might be stepping honestly into a different socioeconomic class or coming into some kind of like glamorous position of authority or something. I feel like for some of you guys, you might be almost like going out on the town, or being in like some kind of fast-paced, glamorous industry. I could see some of you guys going out on dinner dates or going out to nightclubs and meeting people, but it just seems like there's a lot of fast-paced stuff happening. And I feel like you are going to be surrounded with powerful, influential people. For some of you guys, this is justice and karma that has been a long time coming. For some of you guys, it's like you have been fighting for something good to happen, and I feel like it is going to be happening in a little bit of a way you wouldn't expect. I feel like within the spiritual community, we can sometimes have this idea that all growth means like sitting inside, reading a book with like a cup of tea and a little candle. I love my candles. But, sometimes growth can mean going out on the town with your girlfriends and, having a great time and dressing up and putting on some makeup, or, going on a tropical cruise and having a few too many drinks and having a blast. There's not one way that we have to do life. And for sometimes rewards come through in a way you wouldn't expect. Sometimes a life happens in a way you wouldn't expect, but it's amazing. Sometimes it's like, I wasn't expecting to go out tonight, but it really satisfied my soul and I feel so much better. I know I went into hermit mode for a really long time when I was doing my spiritual growth. And eventually, like, I had girlfriends who would beg me to go out and be like, come on, come on, come on. And even when I would go out and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go. What's the point of this? I would come back feeling so rejuvenated. I'm an extrovert, so, to each their own. Some introverts may not like this vibe, but honestly, I think all of us can be invigorated by the energy of others. And that's kind of the vibe I'm seeing, is like you guys going out, having fun, and actually like taking part in life. And I feel like for some of you guys, it's almost like you're going to be dragged kicking and screaming into this. Like, maybe it wasn't the kind of thing thing you envisioned for yourself in 2022 when you wrote down your spiritual goals. Maybe you weren't putting on the vision board like, I want to be going out every night to expensive restaurants and dancing up a storm with my girlfriends. But maybe that's the best thing for you guys, because I do feel like it's almost like there's people that have been trying to see you guys fail, trying to bring you guys down, people that have wanted to see you do badly. And some of you guys have been in a little bit of hermit mode, like not posting on your social media, not wanting people to know what you have going on. And I do feel like this is about to change. I do feel like for some of you guys, it is going to be a kind of realm of you going out and getting, I'm seeing like fancy drinks, you know, like I love cocktails because I love flowers. That's part of my name, Briar Rose, but I love cocktails that have flowers in them. Like, I don't know, if you go to sometimes a really like high-end upscale cocktail place with like a mixologist, they'll make you a cocktail, and I always ask for flowers in mine, and they'll make them like flower flavored even. And I'm seeing like one of those drinks, like a fancy, you know, purple drink with a little purple flower on the top, or a yellow drink with a matching yellow flower. But it just feels like this is like fancy, upscale, a little bit bougie, but a lot of fun. Like, I feel like some of you guys are going to be dating powerful, influential people, attractive people. Like, people are, if they see who you're dating, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did you get them? You're going to have people drawn to you like a moth to a flame. You're going to be exuding a little bit of sexual energy, and people are going to be picking up on it. I feel like some of the guys you date are going to be extremely charismatic, or if you're a guy, it's going to be you're dating charismatic girls, of course. So yeah, it just seems like this is like a really active, fun time for you to be going out and almost like enjoying the town. And I feel like for some of you guys, this is leaving behind an identity you guys had in the past. Maybe you identified as like a spiritual person with the high priestess coming out. And you know, I feel like in the spiritual community, sometimes there is a lot of stigma of like, oh, you can't go out. Oh, you were drinking. Oh my goodness. Like, that's so bad. You should be above that. Oh, you shouldn't be focusing on like wearing makeup or anything. But I feel like for some of you guys, even though you didn't expect this, you're going to really enjoy this. Some of you guys, I feel like it's going to be thrust upon you. You're not going to be seeking it out. But like I said, the metaphor of, or the story of my friends dragging me out, like they were like, come on, come on, come on. And I really at that point was just in hermit mode, just doing a lot of spiritual work and getting a lot of spiritual downloads. And it just wasn't high on my priority list to go out and have cocktails. I was just like, what's the point of this? I just don't really care. But it was so healing. And even though I didn't really want to go, it ended up being such a great experience. And that's what's coming to mind for you guys, is even though you might be a little bit resistant to this at first or not understand why it's happening, I feel like it's going to be really good for your soul and a really fun era. With the Wheel of Fortune coming out, I feel like this is going to be a really fun period for you, and you're really going to enjoy it. And it's almost like you're going to be in an elevated position, whether you wanted it or not. I feel like some of you guys are going to have a glamorous friend group that other people may look at and almost envy, or, you know, be like, why is she hanging out with them? Or why is he hanging out with those guys? Like, how did he meet them? Like, it's something where I feel like people are going to be a little bit envious at you at this time, because your life is very outwardly glamorous and fun. So sometimes, of course, we can have a fulfilling life and no one knows about it. And I feel like to a certain extent, that's been a lot of you guys. You haven't been posting as much on social media. You haven't been going out as much. And a lot of people don't even know what you're up to. And it's almost like you're going to pop back up and be like, surprise, I know you weren't expecting this. Or, you know, that meme where it's like, I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me, or whatever. Like, people are going to have this as a big surprise, but it's like they're going to be a little bit envious, the people that thought you were down and out, because I do feel like there is an element of karma, or maybe some people wishing bad on you, maybe some people that didn't have your best interests at heart and were kind of glad, like, oh, she hasn't done anything, she hasn't posted anything, she's like, I don't know what she's doing. She's just has a boring life. And they're going to be really shocked to see you guys having this kind of glamorous vibe about you. And it's going to really take them by surprise. But I do think there's an element of you guys being surprised by all of this and not expecting it. And we did get the two, which I guess is the point of this reading, but confirming that with the Two of Swords, I really feel like a lot of you guys are going to be like, I never envisioned this, but this is awesome. Kind of like one of those movies like Emily in Paris or something where, she goes to Paris. One of my friends showed me that, and I don't really watch a lot of TV shows and stuff, and it's come up in so many readings lately. Now I seem like obsessed, but it was a fun show from the episodes I saw. I haven't seen all of them, but totally a really fun vibe. And I feel like a spiritual truth of how sometimes the best things happen when we don't expect them. Because she goes into her trip with her fiance or boyfriends, and they are very serious. And she, assumes and is kind of picturing this life of settling down with him, in the Midwest and having this very like traditional life. She ends up being transferred to Paris, and she has this whirlwind of activity that she never would have ever expected. And that's kind of the vibe. Like, it just seems like there's a lot of glimmer coming out of the woodwork. Like, it's coming as a surprise. I don't feel like you guys planned this, but I feel like you somehow get pulled into it because, like, in that show, she's not like sketching out like, I want to move to Paris and I'm going to have this life. She gets transferred there. She's not really, that she's excited, but she wasn't planning it or anything like that. And she's like, sure, I'll go, but it's going to stay the same. I'll have my boyfriend. That ends up falling apart, and it leads to this incredibly kind of vibrant, fun life. And that's the vibe I'm getting, is like, there's a lot of stuff here that you're not expecting. So we also got the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. I mean, this is a glamorous lifestyle. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all are going to be making some bank or just be around people who have bank. And it's the kind of wealthy friends that where they're like, oh yeah, like, I'll pay for your dinner. It's fine if you can't afford it. Or come on this trip with me. I already booked the hotel room, so you don't have to pay a cent. I don't know, but it's glamorous all around. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are going to be earning some money. You are going to be earning a lot, and it's going to be glam. Like, I feel like it's going to be high end. It's going to be like, I'm almost getting like Miami vibes. If you've ever been to Miami, where it's, there's kind of a lot of money, a lot of nightlife, and it's all fun vibe. So we also got the Dragon's Duel, inner conflict, morality, conscious choice, the Wise Woman of Wonderland, integrity, compromise, the Lady of the Mirror, reflection, non-judgment, and the Fire Prince, optimism, aggression. So this little fire guy coming through yet again I feel like this is definitely might be someone you're dating. I feel like some of you guys are going to be in this relationship, and I'm hearing in my mind something like, it's going to be like not for a long time, but for a good time. good for what is it? I don't know. Good for a fun time, good for a good time, not for a long time, or something like that. So it may not be, the person you marry, but it may be a lot of fun. And if you're a guy, of course, it could be a guy if you are into guys, but it could also be totally, if you're a straight guy, totally be a girl. So, it doesn't matter. Or if you're a girl who's into girls, it could be a girl, but it just seems like it's someone who comes in. For most of my viewers who are women, it would be a very sexy man, and then you can translate that into whatever you're into. But it definitely seems like someone who has a lot of sex appeal, who's a lot of fun, who's extremely like charismatic and just has a lot of energy. And it's just going to be one of those relationships that I feel like is almost like a whirlwind, a blast, exciting. There's a lot of sexual energy here, so a lot of attraction on both sides, and it's just coming in hot. It's coming in with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of, like I said, fun, exciting, almost like nightlife vibes. Like, I could see in my mind, two people making out in front of a bar in like a nightclub or something like that, or two people making out in the middle of a crowded street fair or something. Like, it's not like that love. I feel like, it could translate into that. You could just lock down someone who's very sexy and who's very fun and very vibrant. And, of course that could happen, is the general reading. But for some of you guys, it's like, this is just almost like, and I've quoted this movie before, but I think I get it wrong sometimes, but how Stella got her groove back. But like, one of those things where maybe it's not someone that you necessarily want to marry, but it brings back your confidence. It brings back that feeling of like, you know what? I am cute. I am hot, and I can get whoever I want, or life is fun again. Cause I feel like some of y'all have been in hermit mode, doing this high priestess work, working through trauma. And that's so important. But now it's like, okay, payoff. It's almost like that feeling of when you graduate for your end of your school year and the final bell rings and everyone kind of starts running out and gets so excited about summer break, and it's just the best feeling because you worked hard all year and now you get to have a good time, and that's the energy coming through. I almost feel like with inner conflict, conscious choice coming up, integrity, compromise, there's this feeling that at first you guys are a little resistant to this. You guys might even be a little judgmental, to be honest, of like, oh gosh, I would never go out like that. I would never wear a lot of makeup. Oh, I would never wear a low cut dress or something like that. You know what I mean? I would never wear heels that high. Something like that. Or if you're a guy, oh, I would never hang out with guys like that. They just seem so loud and obnoxious or something like that. But it's like you give it a chance, you're open to it, and then I think you really end up enjoying it. And I feel like Spirit is urging you for that. Like when we get reflection, non-judgment, it's like, don't be judgmental of it. Don't be coming into it thinking like, oh, this is just, these people are just, they're just not spiritual like me, or they just are immature or whatever. Spirit wants you to be open and give it a shot. You know, it's interesting because I do think I love our spiritual community, but sometimes we can have this tunnel vision of what spirituality means. And it's generally super like water sign based, which I'm a water sign, so I love that. And I have a grand water trine, so I'm not hating on the water energy at all. But we do have 4 elements and they're all equally important, right? And part of the fire signs are there for a reason. It's not an accident. And it's because we do need that fire energy. We do need that enthusiasm and having fun and having a blast and taking a risk, taking a chance and not overthinking, rushing in. And that's an important part of all the elements. And I think sometimes we can discount that in the spiritual community and think that everything has to be like chill and burning incense and being very zen and being extremely evolved. But the reality is that there are different ways to enter into spirituality, and there are different ways to go through life. And it's important to have aspects of each element. It's important not to just limit yourself to being in hermit mode and doing only intense spiritual work. It's important to also have fun. We're put on this planet to experience different things, and some of that is having fun and going out and having a blast and having friendships and having fun relationships. So I feel like that's what your guides are bringing forth at this time in your life. And I do feel like there's the chance for you guys to get a lot of abundance from this as well, with the Diamond Dreamer coming out. And it definitely fits the vibes that I'm getting, which is a very glamorous type of lifestyle. So we also got Spark, Flying, and Field of Dreams. So I do feel like for you guys, this is going to be a really exhilarating period. You guys are going to feel a spark with this person, first of all. You guys are going to have a ton of chemistry with them, which I think is so exciting. I feel like it's like you don't see this coming. Maybe even for some of you guys, it's not someone you would usually go for. Like maybe they're younger than you, or maybe they're older than you for some of you. But like, I just feel like it's someone that, you know, I feel like they have so much enthusiasm. They have so much fun in this world, and it really brings it out in you. Like they're the kind of person who's like, oh my God, I love this restaurant. You have to try. Oh, you have to try it. Come on, let's get the dessert too, you know, and you got to try this drink, and like, let's order shots. Like they just seem like they're a blast to go out with, and like anyone would have so much fun with them. And I feel like they bring that side out to you, and it almost feels like you're flying. So at first there's this resistance on your part of like, I don't know about this. I don't know about, you know, stepping out of my hermit monk mode and going into having this little party with someone. Like, I'm not sure. I'm too evolved for this. I'm too mature. But there's something about their energy that really brings it out to you. And also for a lot of them, they are wealthy or well off or very familiar and known in their town. So even if they don't have a lot of money, it might be the situation that like they know the bartender at every place in town, and every time they walk in, they get free drinks, or, you know, they just get a lot of respect. Everyone's like, oh my God, Brian's here or whatever. Or it might be a situation that they do have a a lot of money and they're willing to throw it around. They want to have fun, and I feel like they want to have fun with you. So again, there's this aspect of them coming in and being powerful, and again, a glamorous kind of lifestyle. And I do think it feels like flying. And for some of you guys, this is something you envisioned, put on your vision board. For some of you guys, this is leading you to accomplishing your dreams, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, sometimes we think, again, that accomplishments have to look a certain way, that there's only one way to reach success. And usually that way is like being very zen and peaceful and steadily working towards a goal. But the reality is that there's more than one way to do it. And sometimes, you know, you can meet a goal in a way that you wouldn't expect. Like maybe you go out, you meet someone at a restaurant, they say like, hey, you know what? I want to introduce you to my friend. He manages that restaurant. I know you've been trying to get the deal with them. Well, he actually is the owner, and would you want to talk to him? And maybe a business deal that you've been trying to make happen for years ends up happening overnight with that one connection. So I feel like this kind of lifestyle that you're living does help you accomplish some dreams that maybe seemed a long way off. So definitely, like I said, be open to it. So we also got death. The eternal cycle begins here, and skull of stars, infinite possibilities. So I feel like, again, spirit is urging you guys to be open to these changes. This is going to change things in your life. I feel like for some of you guys, you know, this is the ending of a certain cycle you've been in. You guys may have been working towards a certain type of spiritual growth, and you might have been very fixated on that. And again, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you kind of have these judgments about what that growth will look like. And this may be the ending to that. You might have been in hermit mode for a long time. You might have thought of yourself as a certain type of person. You might have a lot of judgments towards like, you know, party girls or party boys, or like, they're just not very smart. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in a friend group with some party girls and you're like, maybe I was wrong about them. But I do feel like it's going to be an ending of your current identity. And I'm really feeling the urge and the message from spirit that you guys should embrace this wholeheartedly and be open to it. You don't have to hold yourself back all the time and sit at home and never go out and only, you know, read spiritual texts in order to be a good person. I feel like sometimes in the spiritual community, they can have that attitude, and it's almost like being very judgmental, like religious traditions, like where, you know, in order to be a certain type of religious person, you're never allowed to drink and you're never allowed to, you know, kiss someone or something. And so it's funny because in the spiritual community, some of us can, you know, we think we're open-minded, but we can also be judgmental about that stuff. We can be judgmental about money as well, of like, well, if you're spiritual, then you should be doing this for free. Or if you're spiritual, then, you know, you should not have any possessions. And that's just not how it works. So I feel like it's like some of you guys have become attached to these ideas of, I have to act a certain way in order to be spiritual, and spirit's coming in to be like, nope, it might look a little different than you imagined. And I feel like they're saying, be open to that, because with Skull of Stars coming out, I feel like there's so much potential for abundance here. There's so much potential for you guys to really achieve your dreams through this process and through this cycle in your life. There's going to be so many doors opening, and I don't want to see you guys miss them opening because you have a rigid idea in your head of what that will look like. So be very open, because for you guys, this could involve, you know, manifestations that you guys have been trying to achieve for a long time, like a lot of money or like a lot of wealth or a certain type of lifestyle. You know, it may come in a different way than you imagined. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's coming in through this cycle. So don't miss those doors. So we also got the Emperor again, 5 of Swords, King of Swords, transformation, aka Tower. So again, big change, big endings for how things used to be in your life. And I do feel like this is someone who, again, with the Emperor and the King of Swords coming out, is probably very respected and has a certain amount of power and responsibility. I feel like this, you know, this could be someone who wears a suit every day to work, or is just someone who everyone really respects and looks up to. For some of you guys, this is someone you are dating. I don't know. I feel like you guys are going to be elevated into positions where people are almost looking up at you. And the 5 coming in is a card and a number of big changes. So it's definitely telling you to be open to this change, be open to what happens. And, I feel like for some of you guys, again, there's going to be people who are a little bit envious of you around. Sometimes when you're in these kinds of competitive social groups, there can be also jealous people even within that group, also people on the outside looking in. So just be aware of that. But it's kind of like that's a reality of whenever you achieve success, there's always going to be jealous people. There's always going to be competition. So don't be too stressed out about that, because I feel like this has been a long time coming and you guys know how to manage it. So we also got river, movement, and rain, purification. So again, I feel like Spirit is stripping away from some of the things that you guys have become very attached to, because Spirit really doesn't like it when we get comfortable with anything in our life. And that doesn't have to be you're comfortable with a lifestyle that's really dysfunctional. It can also be you're comfortable with your lifestyle and you're doing yoga every day by the beach and everything's really, spiritually high vibe, but still Spirit wants us to constantly be challenging ourselves and exploring new things. So I do feel like they're pushing you into this new phase in your life. Some of you guys are a little bit too complacent, a little bit too much in hermit mode, a little too comfortable with that. So it's almost like you're being shoved into this new reality. You're being shoved into a new lifestyle that I think is going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be kind of daunting as well. And for some of you guys, you're not quite ready for it, but you're going to have to get ready. So we also got Will-o'-the-Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows, Sky Dancer, surrender, and beloved, radical acceptance. I feel like the message from Spirit is don't discount this just because it doesn't look like you thought it was going to look like. This card, treasures hidden in the shadows, it's like treasures and blessings and positive things can come into our lives in ways that we would never have expected. I look back at some of the biggest blessings in my life and I definitely didn't see them coming. And I'm glad that Spirit kind of obfuscated them from me, because if they hadn't, I think I would have screwed it up. I think I would have been like, whoa, this is way too crazy for me. Sometimes, when we're anticipating something and we're so fixated on it, we kind of ruin it. It's kind of like a watched pot never boils, that phrase. And so sometimes I think Spirit will bring things into our lives in the form of something we would never have expected as a blessing. So a person we would never have expected, like, oh, that's not my type. I would never go for that. Or like, no, I'm this kind of person, so I don't do stuff like that. Or, I'm like a job that suddenly transfers you across the country and you're like, huh, I have 2 weeks to pack. But that's how Spirit likes to kind of take us by surprise. And I think it's because if we think too much about it, we can kind of ruin it. We can kind of psych ourselves out and not fully experience it. So I do feel like Spirit's calling you to just surrender to this. And for a lot of you guys, this is going to be a very hot, very fun relationship with a lot of sexual energy with this person. Some of you guys may have been working on exploring or enlivening and growing your sexual energy, and it's working. You're exuding it and you're attracting in people who share that same energy. So you are going to have a relationship that's full of that spark and has a lot of sexual qualities to it, and there's just a lot of mutual attraction between you and your person. And I feel like, again, you should enjoy it, because once again, in the spiritual community, we can have this idea of relationships that they have to be very chilled out and mature, and it has to be 2 people kind of holding hands and meditating together. And this is definitely not that. This is definitely the kind of relationship where you guys are going out, maybe partying, maybe having fun. But, and of course that might look different for everyone. Some people don't drink or, whatever. And I think that's totally fine, but it's just going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be enlivening and invigorating, and you're going to have a blast. It's not going to be a relationship where you're just sitting at home together and cooking in quiet and playing old jazz music and watching old movies. As much as that may be fun and a beautiful relationship, that's just not the vibe, okay? We got King of Wands, we got Knight of Wands, we have this fire heart. Like, there's just a ton of fire energy coming through. So this is an exciting relationship that's going to be full of twists and turns and exciting developments. So we also got Triumph and patience. So I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this is something you've been working towards for a long time. And this feels like a moment of triumph. Like I said, there are some people in your life who have really counted you guys as down and out and thought that you guys were just never going to be able to recover, never going to come back. Like, oh, they've been hiding away. They haven't been active on social media. I don't know what they're doing. They haven't done anything in years. They're just washed up, kind of that kind of vibe. And it's like, this is finally coming through, and it may have been a while, hence the patience card, but it's coming through now. It's going to be a breakthrough. It's going to be a moment of kind of public acclaim. Like, I feel like people are going to have to watch. The haters are going to have to see it. The haters are going to have to sit there, as much as they may not like it, and they might be grumbling and mumbling and being angry. They're still going to have to watch and see you guys popping off, maybe on your Instagram or elsewhere. But I do feel like there's going to be some jealous people, but they're going to have to watch your moment of triumph. And that's what Spirit wants for them to have to see. So it's going to be, I feel like you guys aren't that petty, but Spirit is going to be a little petty, and they're going to bring out that moment of triumph for others to watch. So some of you guys may be posting more on social media, or you just might be, tagged by other people, or maybe, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people are going to have to see this. And for a lot of you guys, this is the moment that y'all have been trying to build for. And even though it might not look like that form of the perfectly built step by step, like I'm seeing like someone will build a little thing out of toothpicks. It's like almost like that's what y'all have been trying to do, like build a little house out of toothpicks, but Spirit's like knocking that over and bringing out the big old Lego set and just replacing it. So some of you guys, this isn't how you thought it would look at all. In fact, it's very different, and you probably never imagined that this would be a triumphant moment in your life, or this would be how it looks, is like going out and partying and having fun and having very exciting experiences. But this is a moment of triumph, and I think y'all are gonna love it. So we also got, I think I messed up the order of these cards, but let me try to get them right. We got the Hanged Man, we got the Magician, we got the Five of Wands, we got the World, we got the Ace of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and the Tower. That's totally not the order, but I don't know what happened with that, so we're gonna go with it. But yeah, for a lot of you guys, this is something you've tried to manifest for a really long time. It may involve travel or going to other destinations, or for some of you guys, it may even involve dating someone that is from a different culture, country, maybe a different ethnicity, maybe not someone you would have thought you would vibe with, or that you would have dated in the past. But that will only apply to some of you guys. But I do feel like there's this aspect of, again, exploring new facets of yourself and of the world. So maybe it's like, and I brought up Emily in Paris, maybe it's moving somewhere new. And I feel like whoever this is, or whatever this is, or wherever this is, it's going to be glamorous. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And so I feel like for a long time, you guys have been trying to manifest it with the Magician coming out, but it does involve a change in perspective and a Tower moment. So being willing to leave the past behind, being willing to say goodbye to things that are no longer serving you and welcome in something else. And some people might even be judgmental of that, because, they might think that, oh, well, like they shouldn't be going out like that, or I can't believe that they would be living like that, or something like that. And there may be jealousy and anger coming through from them with the Five of Wands. But this is actually something you guys have been working for a long time towards. You guys are hard workers, but there's also, while you do want to work hard, there's also something for knowing when you get a gift and learning to receive it with open arms, and learning to be open to gifts the universe wants to bestow on us. Not every blessing has to come in the form of pentacle energy that we really worked hard for and we really broke our back for. Some blessings can come in as almost like a miraculous spur of the moment fix. And that's kind of the energy, is like, I feel like you guys are going to meet someone that maybe it's not even someone you would normally think was cool to hang out with, but there's something about that you guys form a friendship or a relationship, and then maybe they invite you out. And I feel like it's just going to be really fun. And with Ace of Cards ending this, which is maybe why Spirit kind of reshuffled my cards, I guess, I do feel like it's like, that's just confirmation that this is really emotionally fulfilling for you guys. You guys feel really happy in this vibe. I feel like it takes you by surprise. I feel like you guys are kind of like, huh? Like, I never would have thought that I would be the kind of person that would love going out to brunch on Sunday and having like an all-day rager, but maybe it is fun for you and maybe you enjoy it, and life is meant to be lived, right? And it shouldn't just be like, a billionaire on a yacht who gets to have fun. Like, I feel like for you guys, there may be this resistance to this kind of lifestyle, or you guys always thought that for you to succeed, it would have to look a certain way, or that it was only good of you, or like, I'm this certain type of person and I would never do that. And you might find yourself going out of your comfort zone or doing things that you wouldn't normally have thought you would enjoy. But I feel like you love it so much. I feel like this relationship, like I said, I got an image of, a couple kissing in front of a bar or making out in the middle of a street fair or something. And maybe that's the kind of person you never thought you'd be. Like, oh my God, why would I ever do PDA like that? That's so gross. And it would just never be me. But life is long, and I feel like one of the best aspects of life is being surprised by what Spirit brings us, and also being surprised by ourselves. Like, dang, I didn't know I was capable of that. I didn't know that was in me, but you know what? I had a lot of fun. And so this may be a relationship that takes you by surprise. And next thing you know, maybe you're acting a fool a little bit, but you enjoy it and you have fun. And that's what our guides want us to do. We're not just put in this lifetime to just trudge through and learn lesson after lesson and never have a good time. We are put in this lifetime and look, the sun's coming out and reflecting on all the cards, and I'm just about to say, to feel the sun on our face, right? To taste delicious food. Like, Spirit would not have given us our five senses and the ability to feel the heat on our skin when the sun is shining on us, or the ability to smell a really beautiful perfume or a beautiful flower, or the scent of the ocean, or to taste decadent food that is like so good. So like those things, and Jesus turned water into wine, right? So I mean, I'm just saying, no disrespect meant to anyone, but I'm just saying that we are put on this planet to like enjoy and to actually have fun and to actually experience life and to lean into our five senses to a certain extent. Obviously, you can overindulge, and that can be, you can just be run by your physical body, and that's never a good thing. But we don't want to become so distant from our senses and from our physical body, because we were put in it for a reason, and we're supposed to do things that feel good to us and make us feel good. And it's okay to enjoy looking good, or being like confident in how you look, or feeling like you had a blast with your friends and you laughed all night long. That's okay. So I feel like some of you guys, you're going to have to be a little bit open to this. There's a little resistance coming through, but I do feel like if you guys can lean into this, you're going to enjoy it so much. It's going to be such a blessing, and you guys are just going to have an amazing, amazing time. So I think that's all the messages I have for you guys today. Make sure to check out my link to Keen. They can give you a lot more guidance as to what exactly to expect during this time. Maybe tell you about this fire guy, King of Wands energy coming in, because we definitely want to know more of the details, what he looks like. So maybe call them up, see what they have to say, but definitely use that link in my bio for Keen, and check out my Patreon if you want as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave it a big like if it resonated, and let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Take care, guys. Bye. Pile 2. So if you guys picked this chocolate cake, this is going to be your reading. This one is perfect for the chocoholics, which would definitely include me. And I love that they have this little Oreo cookie on the top, a little chocolate bar wafer thing, and then this walnut, which is covered in this delicious looking glaze. There's all the piping and chocolate on the sides as well. So if you need your daily dose of chocolate like me, this would definitely cover it. It looks so good, making me really hungry. But let's get right into the cards, guys. So you guys got the Eight of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, Magician, Ten of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, High Priestess, Four of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Two of Wands, and finally the Four of Cups. So a lot of cup energy coming through. Honestly, the thing that I'm getting right away is almost like I feel like you guys have been struggling towards something or working for something for a long time, and you're about to get a break or some recognition. And it's like you guys are coming into a period of rest and positivity. I feel like there's overall blessings coming towards you from romance, but also especially with your finances. A lot of it has been, like I said, a really long time coming, and those decisions you guys made are starting to pay off. You're going to see abundance, you're going to see more wealth, and things are going to start taking shape as far as planning your future. I feel like doors are going to open and you guys are finally going to see the payoff to the work you guys have put in for a really long time. And I almost feel like when this moment comes, a lot of you guys are going to take a step backwards away from working so hard. I know that may seem antithetical or different than what you would expect, but I do feel like in a way, once you reach this point, once you reach this peak of the mountain, you're going to almost like take a breath and be like, oh, okay, now I can pull back a little. Now I don't have to be struggling so hard, pushing myself so hard. And it just feels like a culmination moment that really allows you to pay attention to your mental health and to your overall well-being. So it seems like just a really positive time. And I feel like you guys are starting to pay more attention to how you feel. So you're not pushing yourself as hard as you can go anymore. You're actually going to be able to maybe focus on family or focus on your loved ones or focus on your desires that make you happy and start pursuing these things. Start getting into this cup energy of paying attention to your emotions and not just being in such pentacle energy of having to work so hard. So a lot of these are manifestations you guys have been working on for a while. I see that with the High Priestess and the Magician coming out. You guys have probably been my group that has been working hard on manifesting, maybe making vision boards, making planners, making goal lists, making rituals to achieve certain things, and that is going to pay off with the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. This is just a major period of achievement for you guys. I kind of couldn't believe all the positive cards coming out, and then the Lovers. So for some of you guys, this could be even romance coming in, or maybe you're already in a relationship and it finally gives you that space to kind of step back from having to work so hard and be able to relax into taking a break. I feel like this may be for some of you guys a vacation, a well-deserved vacation, maybe to like a tropical climate, or maybe, you know, going skiing or something. But I feel like it's going to be a really beautiful vacation that a lot of you guys have really worked hard for. And for some of you guys, this is going to be a lot of luxury because we do have so many pentacle cards coming through. And for others of you, it may be just taking a break and being able to like call off sick from work for a couple of days. But it does feel like it's almost like no matter what, this is a luxury just in terms of being able to take such a rest that you have wanted for so long, and it's finally happening. So other cards we got, the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity. I mean, you can't make these up, right? Spirit is not stuttering. In this reading, they are being very clear. The Rainbow Prince, compensation, perseverance. The Prison Wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness, which is reversed. The Winged Wise Ones, angelic help, miraculous aid. Gaia's Garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. And the other reversal, the Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. So with these being reversed, it shows me that this is not coming as a surprise. This is not coming out of the blue, even though I think in a way you guys will be really surprised because it's almost like you've been working so hard at it for so long that you really never thought that this day would come. You just kind of accepted that, okay, I'm just gonna have to keep working and I'll be working so hard for so long, and you almost stopped paying attention to like am I ever going to get a break? You just kind of put your nose to the grindstone and push forward, but that break is coming. And so even though it's a surprise, I don't feel like it comes out of the blue. I feel like you guys will have ample time to prepare, to get ready. Like I said, I'm seeing vacation vibes for so many of you. So if that is a nice, expensive tropical vacation, it's like, it wouldn't be like your boss is like, suddenly like, you know what, take the week off. It's more along the lines of, well in advance, there are, several weeks in advance before the break or months, and everything can be planned down to the T. So you can, do a price comparison for the hotel rooms and find that best airplane deal, and, plan out your wardrobe in advance and plan the activities. So there is time. It's not going to show up completely out of the blue, but it is like a surprise, and you're not going to see it coming just because you guys have been so focused for so long. So this prosperity that's coming in, it's been a long time coming, and Spirit is acknowledging that when they talk about your perseverance and reaping what you sow. So a lot of you guys need to realize that you did earn this. Again, I feel like for so many of you guys, you have gotten so used to this work hard energy that it's almost like you just think of this as totally normal. You just wouldn't even expect to get a break, or wouldn't even think of taking a day off. And this is Spirit coming in to say, no, you deserved it, you earned it, and this is your time to take a little pause, to take a little rest. And they are going to create this space for you guys to kind of sit back. I feel like almost some of you guys are almost like a little bit of workaholics. You're so focused on your goal, and I feel like Spirit is so proud of you guys for doing that. But at the same time, they want you to know that you guys have more than earned it, and it's also okay for you to take a rest day, a mental health day, or just a break to make you guys feel good. It's important to be in Pentacle energy and working hard and putting in that effort and putting in the time that we need to put in. But it's also important to go after that cup energy and fill our cups and make sure we are emotionally looking after ourselves, making sure that we're emotionally taking care of ourselves and feeling good and doing things that make us feel good. I feel like you guys are so disciplined, and it's so beautiful because there's so many people in this world who lack discipline. And, discipline is one of the major keys to success. But we do have all 4 tenets of the astrological wheel. And it's funny because Pile 1 kind of had mastered cup energy, I feel like, whereas you guys, I feel like, have mastered pentacle energy. You guys are very much the hard workers. You guys are putting in those steps, the energy to work hard, and you're persevering day after day. But Spirit also wants you to focus on your interests, your loves, the things that make you happy, and the things that make you feel good. I feel like for some of you guys, you might have been neglecting family or not being able to be as close to your family because of this hard work. With the 10 of Cups coming in, and just the energy I'm feeling is like some of you guys are going to be reunited with family, and I feel like this is going to be a really joyful reunion. I almost feel like for some of you guys, this may have created an obstacle with your family or with people you're close to, of like, you're working too hard, I never see you, something like that. And I feel like for some of you guys, this has created miscommunication and misunderstandings that are going to be able to be talked to and talked through and worked through. So there's going to be this very joyful moment of like, the band is back together, or like, we're reunited, everything is happy again, everything is as it should be. And there's this huge happiness coming through on your end of feeling like it really has paid off and it really has worked out. So we also got the Veil, the Future, Werewolf, Exploring Wildness, and Vampire Emotional Intelligence. So it's funny because Vampire Emotional Intelligence, that's kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about the cup cards, because for you guys, I feel like you guys are such, again, hard workers, but there's almost like not a lack of emotional intelligence, but more that you're not prioritizing yourself. A lot of you guys aren't prioritizing your self-care and your own feelings. Like, I feel like you guys have had to be in this energy of moving forward and working really hard and working like a dog. And now it's like, I feel like Spirit wants to prop you up in like a feather bed with like some bonbons and some chocolates, and, put on your favorite movie and like, Marie Antoinette style, have like someone fanning you with like a palm frond next door. Like, it just seems like you guys need to like chill, relax, and your guides are going to orchestrate this for you so you guys can kind of chill and take a step back from all of this. They want you guys to pay attention to your emotional side and the things that make you feel good. Not all of like manifestation has to do with working hard, although that's a major key to manifestation, as I'm sure I don't need to tell this group because you guys have already figured that out. But also manifestation is also feeling good, right? Like there's no point in working so hard to accomplish certain things if we never actually take the time out to appreciate. What's the point of money in the bank if we never actually spend it and never actually enjoy it? So I feel like, again, this is like luxury vacations. This is like you guys taking that time to spend time with your loved ones, taking time to enjoy, taking time. Maybe for some of you guys, you don't even have a loved one because you haven't had the time to nurture those relationships because of how hard you guys were going. So this is kind of like the opposite of tough love. Sometimes we need to just suck it up and keep going and move forward and push ourselves as hard as we can go. And that's a crucially important step to have in life. But this is the opposite. This is knowing when to kind of take your foot off the gas, slow down, move on over several lanes into the slow lane, away from the fast lane, and just take it easy and maybe even pull off the highway and take like a slow little country road with like 2 lanes and beautiful scenery, and actually like roll your windows down or put the convertible top down and smell the air and look at the flowers. And maybe this time of year it's a little cold for some people to drive in a convertible, but you know what I mean. Like, see the beauty of the world around you and actually take it in instead of just rushing. And so I feel like for you guys, this is about exploring that side of yourself, exploring your feelings, and spirit giving you that space is what I feel like comes as a big surprise to you, because for so long you guys may have even felt that urge, but you weren't able to do that because of your schedule, because of the amount of work you had to put in, because of the just everything that was happening in your life. I also know, things that are going on with current events. It's just been really stressful for so many people, and there hasn't necessarily even been that option to, go out to dinner, going out to dinner and enjoying yourself, and maybe even traveling and stuff. Of course, current events influence all of that, so it may have just been not an option for you guys, but I feel like that is going to be an option. So there's many things that could have influenced why you were in this situation, but spirit is going to start intervening because they do want you to spend time enjoying yourself and taking pleasure in the life you guys have actually worked so hard for and created. So we also got Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation, Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing, Jeweled Wag, connectivity, Wailing Tree, reconciliations, and Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. This is what I love for you guys. Oh my God, I want to go into this garden so bad. Garden of Venus sounds like the best garden ever, just from the name and knowing what Venus energy is like. And also the picture of this, like, just, it's so beautiful with the little hummingbird and the butterfly and the heart in the middle and all the flowers. This is where you guys are going to be, right in the middle of this garden, taking that well-deserved break that you guys deserve so much. And of course, Venus rules over wealth, luxury, beauty, love, and so many beautiful things. And Venus really is that energy, like I was talking about Marie Antoinette, or maybe Cleopatra, or so many of the queens from different eras who were just able to live a lifestyle where they just kind of sat back, relaxed, chilled, and had people wait on them. And of course, maybe there's unethical things with that, but of course, back in the day, things were very different. So of course, now we would want to pay someone a good wage and whatnot. But I do think that there's something to be said for learning to lean back into that receptive Venus energy and accept the blessings from the universe. A lot of times people can be in an energy that they don't even realize that they're blocking the blessings that come in, because the thing is, people don't realize that Venus is an energy of rest, and it's also the energy that really is related to wealth. One of the things that it rules over or interacts with is wealth. And so the thing is, people have this misconception that the only way to reach wealth is through really hard work and like Saturn Capricorn energy. That is a way to get wealth. and earn wealth. But actually, wealth is directly related to Venus. So being receptive, sitting back and letting the universe shower you with blessings is actually a very powerful way to manifest wealth. And it's almost like some of you guys may have been blocking that, because I'm wondering, why am I feeling so rested? Why am I feeling so rejuvenated during this reading? And yet we have the Ten of Pentacles and all these achievement-oriented cards. And what I'm getting is, sometimes when we just think that the only way to make money is to work our tail off, and that money equals breaking our back and working like a working to the bone, that can actually block wealth coming in, because part of wealth energy is just being in that restful Venus energy. Venus confers wealth, and it also feels really good in an attitude of relaxation, of receptivity, of laying back on that, fur rug and in front of the fireplace and eating little grapes that someone's feeding to you. You know what I mean? That's where Venus really is able to come into this space. So I feel like you guys, you might have this almost panic of like, I can't take time off work, or I can't take a break, or like, there's no way I'm going to ruin all the progress I made, or something like that. And it's almost like you don't realize that by continuously working and refusing to enter into that Venus relaxed, receptive energy, you're actually blocking blessings. And if you are to enter into this relaxed vacation mode, you actually would be calling to the universe and signaling that you are ready and receptive for blessings. So I feel like once you guys actually take this time off and take a break, we do have this Ten of Pentacles coming in. We do have the Fortune's Wheel being activated, which really is talking about being showered with blessings. And that is also associated with Jupiter, which is another which is another wealth energy. And it also is something that you don't work for, because Jupiter is random luck. And so that's the thing, is these are all signaling to you that there's not just one way to come into wealth. And while you guys have worked hard, and there is an aspect of karma or payoff for all the work you guys have put in, they also want you to get into the energy of knowing that sometimes wealth can just be showered upon you out of the blue. And it's not about working yourself to the point where you're exhausted. It's about welcoming it in and thanking the universe for the blessings, and knowing that it's your birthright. So in a bizarre way, I feel like you guys taking these breaks and being willing to take a step back and pause is actually that kind of major key you need that turns the energy into wealth energy that has been a long time coming. And that thing that you keep working for and feeling like, I've worked so hard and it still isn't coming through down the pipeline, finally arrives because you guys are willing to take a step back and take a break. With reconciliation, I do feel like part of this break is about relationships and connectivity, jeweled web. I do feel like a big part of this is the relationships you have and getting close. And for some of you guys, maybe making up with someone. I feel like some of you guys have had a falling out with someone, maybe miscommunication or a misunderstanding, or maybe it was just a situation where you were so busy that you couldn't end up meeting with someone, or you couldn't end up seeing them or making time. And maybe that was the issue. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But it does seem like for a lot of you guys, there was some kind of a falling out, or there was some kind of a relationship ending that has weighed heavily on you. And I do see you guys reconciling and having that relationship be repaired, which I feel like means a lot to you guys and is just extremely healing for you guys. Something I really want to bring up that Spirit is calling to my mind, and I don't want to I don't want anyone to be offended by this or anything like that, but I will say what's coming to mind is that it's almost like you guys have been working so hard, and what Spirit is bringing up for me is that there are so many professions where people work so hard, crazily hard. When you're a maid in a hotel room, the number of rooms they have to turn over is just crazy. Like, I could never do that in a million years, because I'm I just wouldn't have the stamina. It's an incredibly difficult job. And yet, a lot of those people don't make a lot of money. And I'm certainly not blaming anyone for that. And I know there's a lot of factors at play within society that keeps, certain people down or makes it hard for people to move up. So I'm certainly not casting blame. But my point is if you look at them, they're working so hard and they maybe aren't earning much money. And if you look at like a tech billionaire, they're maybe relaxing on a yacht in Capri and earning a ton of money. And I'm not blaming anyone because, of course, I know that a lot of that has to do with what situation you were born into or other factors. And I certainly would never blame anyone for being, certainly stuck in a cycle of poverty or just having to work so hard to get through the day. I have so much respect for that. But my point is just to tell you guys because I feel like a lot of you guys don't get that hard work doesn't necessarily mean wealth. Wealth energy is a different energy from hard work. And of course, they can correlate, and oftentimes wealth can be earned from hard work. But my point is just to show you guys a very extreme example of how laying back and chilling is actually kind of a wealth association. And of course, I know not everyone has that as an option, but that is just what Spirit really wanted me. They brought it up multiple times, and I was almost like, I don't know if I want to say this because, again, I have so much respect for all kinds of people within the service industries and maids and all kinds of people that do any kind of physical labor. I have nothing but respect for it. But I just want to make the point that, if you guys are thinking like, how could this happen? Like, how could I take a break but actually make money? It's strange, I know, and maybe it's beyond our human comprehension, but really there is something to be said for sitting back, relaxing, and kind of like letting the money roll in. That's what I'm hearing in my mind. I think it's a Kanye West lyric. Yeah. And so I don't know. I just feel like there's something about this break that is going to really accumulate money for you guys and kind of switch that energy up into more of that relaxing on a yacht in Sardinia energy, or Capri, I guess I said, that we want for you guys. So other cards we got: the Empress, Page of Cups, the Devil, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. So again, there's this real emphasis from Spirit that you should think about how much time you're spending focused on your career and focused on hard work, and maybe recalibrate or think about how much balance there is in your life. And maybe think about, that maybe it's time to like pull back a little bit and spend a little bit more time relaxing. The Eight of Cups can definitely talk about needing to move on from something and needing to put something in the past. And so, maybe for some of you guys, that is this work schedule that you're on, or maybe even the job you're at, or maybe it's just a temporary pause, temporary break. But I do see with the Page of Cups that you guys are going to be taking time out to really go after what makes you happy, what fills your cup, and actually enjoying that time. And actually, like, Spirit almost wants to bring a new enthusiasm from you. The Page is a very enthusiastic, youthful card. And sometimes when we're working so hard in Saturn energy all the time, Saturn is like the oldie of the zodiac. It's like the old, crotchety old man kind of a thing. And so they want you to be back in a youthful, energetic energy of someone that's in love with their life and really having emotional fulfillment from things. So this is about you guys figuring out the things that make you happy. Maybe it's lighting a candle, or maybe it's watching a certain type of movie. I feel like another message coming through is that some of you guys might think some of your interests are lame. Like maybe you're like, oh, I really love these kinds of movies. I don't know, like maybe a superhero film or a romantic comedy or something. But it's almost like you think like, oh, that's lame, or I need to grow up. And Spirit is saying like, no, it's okay. If it makes you happy, if you enjoy it, then you should do that, because this is really a time for you guys to rediscover those aspects of your life. And with the Empress, she is the epitome of what I was talking about queen energy, being restful. The Empress is always depicted in a very restful pose, and that is because that is really Empress energy, is being very calm and at rest and relaxed. It is not working hard, even though she is the most powerful. That is why she gets to kind of sit back and relax. So just they really want you guys to kind of chill and just take a break. So we got forest breath and winter solstice reflection. More cards about this. This is just about a pause. Winter solstice card is all about taking that pause and taking a moment to pull back and reflect and consider what we have going on in our life and if we do need to make changes. So is forest. It's about taking a breath, taking that time out to pause, maybe to enjoy nature, maybe to get back to your habits and things that interest you, and really taking that moment to figure out what makes us happy. So this is going to be a restful moment for you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to get unexpected time off work or a vacation, or Spirit is going to lessen the load that you guys have. But Spirit really wants you guys to kind of chill. Maybe some of you guys have been on a schedule of waking up at 6 a.m. and then preparing a healthy dinner and showering at 7 a.m. and then driving into work, and you get there at 8:30 and then you're working really hard, and you know what I mean, your schedule is just stacked, and I feel like Spirit's just clearing that away, blocking out some time and taking some R&R. And you know what's also coming to mind is like really high end, like extremely profitable companies. A lot of them will pencil in time for company retreats where they will take the entire company and pay for all of them to go to like a retreat in the mountains, or you know, a nice vacation on a beach in California or something like that. And it's all about, because they know that, you know, a very productive company is going to have those breaks. And if you just work people to the point where they're exhausted, then they won't be able to perform at their highest level. So just a reminder, because I feel like so many of you guys, you have negative associations with taking a break and taking a rest. Spirit wants you guys to really stop doing that. So we got solitude, magic prayer, into the unknown, cleaning house, and slow and steady. I feel like Spirit really wants you guys to slow down. A lot of you guys have been just going 100 miles an hour. And while Spirit commends you guys on that and wants you guys to know how proud they are of you for working so hard and pushing yourself so much, and that you guys really have earned this, they also want you guys to take a step back. Maybe it's even spending a little time alone. Maybe it's taking a few days off work. I personally love being home. I don't know why, in the middle of the day. Like, it just makes me so happy. I mean, now kind of a lot of people are doing that, since again, with all the current events that are happening, a lot of people are now working from home, or a lot of people are just spending extended time at home. But for me, like when I was a little kid, I just loved being home during school hours, because I don't know, it just felt like the world was so quiet because everyone was at school, everyone else was at work, and it was just like me and my mom, and I just loved that. And I still, to this day, like, again, things are so different now over the past 3 years. I can energetically feel, you know, a lot more people being at home now, so it's not quite the same. But I loved, like, before all the current events that happened, when you would, you know, take a day off work or whatever, and you would be at home and you could just feel that there was energetically kind of emptiness around you, at least if you're like empathic, like, you know, me, and I know so many of the people here, where you can feel other people's energy. It just felt like a clean kind of slate. So maybe this is about just taking a little pause, spending those moments alone, and figuring out, I feel like for some of you guys, once you check this off, you're going to have to come up with new manifestations, because this is a manifestation that you guys have been working towards for a long time. And so now it's like on to the next. Maybe you might even spend time cleaning your space, cleaning your home up, and figuring out what some of the old things you need to discard are. Because I feel like some of the manifestation goals you guys set for yourselves, those you set a long time ago, and it's almost like you're on to the next. You already leveled up, and it's time for you guys to push yourself further into new goals, into new areas, and into new things. So you're going to have different desires this time. When you sit down to make that vision board, it's going to look different than it was when you said it last time, because a lot of that stuff you already checked off, and a lot of that stuff you're on a new level. You have a new perspective. I do feel like your guides want you to know that your manifestation abilities are very much on point with magic prayer coming through. And so many of the cards that you guys got, I believe you guys got, yeah, the High Priestess and the Magician. So your manifestation abilities are super on point. So, I feel like you guys may be taking that time out, and maybe this is the reason why they want to pull you out of work for a minute, pull you out of your rushed lifestyle so that you have the time to really reflect and maybe make that vision board so it's super on point. Maybe you guys will be drawing it yourselves, drawing the images, clipping them out of magazines, or, I don't know, making a digital one. But it does seem like you guys are going to be figuring out what you want to work on next, because so much of it has already been checked. This really is about financial abundance and getting to that achievement level, getting to that completion point, which really is the Ten of Pentacles, is a completion point, and the Ten of Cups as well, just in different ways. So this is like, we reached the culmination moment, we reached that final level, and now what do we want to do next? So I feel like there's a lot of joy in figuring out what that will mean. So final round of cards: King of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Hanged Man, Six of Swords, the World, and Ace of Cups. So I really do feel like for some of you guys are going to be traveling. You guys are going to be exploring new destinations, maybe on this vacation. I could see some of you guys having a beautiful tropical vacation in like a cabana, laying out by the beach, getting a tan. Of course, always wear sunscreen responsibly, guys. But I do feel like you guys will be really relaxing and really just spending time to get back in touch with yourself. And with the King of Pentacles, again, Spirit just confirming this is a lot of financial wealth, abundance, and achievement that, again, has been a long time coming and a long time that you guys have been working towards it. And then we do have that achievement and fulfillment moment. And then I feel like there's almost a reconsideration of like, well, what do I want to do next now that I already did all that? Like, okay, so that's checked off and I already did all that. So, okay, what's next on my list? So there is a kind of a moment of pause and a moment of leaving behind certain things. I feel like for some of you guys, you may even choose to switch careers. You may choose that the career you're in, you don't like the schedule and you want to find something that allows you to have a little bit more rest. There may be a moment of like, I just feel really done with this, with the Six of Swords and the Ten of Swords and even the Seven of Swords. I feel like there may even be an aspect of reconsidering the intentions of those around you and kind of thinking about whether you're getting everything you deserve. It may be that you realize that you were the one putting in all the work at your workplace and that you weren't being paid appropriately. Like I mentioned, the maid analogy, a maid at a hotel. I think so many of them are so underpaid, and it's such a tragedy how a lot of people get treated, financially or whatever. And so maybe there's a reconsideration moment of, I deserve better. And it doesn't mean that you have to be even, being paid not a lot of money. You might be being paid a lot, but it's not as much as the work you're putting in. Maybe you are doing the majority of work in the company and you just deserve more. But I do feel like you guys are going to be thinking about a lot of these things and getting a lot of downloads during this break. And ultimately, your cup is going to be filled. With the Ace of Cups being the final card, you guys really are going to come out of this time feeling really rested, rejuvenated, and emotionally fulfilled. It's going to be a super productive break, which I know you guys will love because I can tell y'all are all about that productivity. But you guys are going to come out of it feeling like rested, rejuvenated. I honestly just have such a feeling of like taking a deep breath and relaxing, like in a yoga class when they say like, okay, now breathe in and release. Like that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. Maybe you guys will be doing yoga, especially on this little retreat to Bali or wherever y'all are going to be going. But it does seem like there's just an emotional rejuvenation, emotional relaxation that, again, I think is such a long time coming and y'all have really earned it. So I want want y'all to enjoy every moment. I don't want you guys to be doing one of those vacations where you're like, I gotta run here, I gotta go there, blah, blah, blah. Let me sign up for this. Oh no, let me work from home. I'll just work remotely. No, this is about taking a full pause. The universe wants you guys to really take this moment for yourself because you guys have earned it more than anyone and you deserve it. And I'm hearing that your company will be just fine without you guys. And a lot of you guys need this moment to come back to yourself. You're going to come back a lot stronger, a lot happier, and with a lot better perspective on exactly where you guys want to head. So I think that's all the messages I am getting for you guys, pile 2. So make sure to use my link for Keen and you can call them and find out more clarification on this situation, find out exactly when this break will be going on, or, you know, they are great for getting those goals set. So like getting a little bit of direction as far as what you should manifest next, because I feel like y'all are going to be needing to make that new vision board since you've clicked off so many of them. But let me know in the comments as well if it resonates, you guys, and check out my Keen link, check out my Patreon, and I'll be back soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Pile 3. So if you guys picked this yellow and brown cake, this is going to be your reading. To me, this definitely looks like it would be caramel flavored, maybe salted caramel, but it could also be like a butter cake with some crushed nuts on the side. And then there's on the top a blueberry, cranberry, maybe a golden raisin, although it could also be a sliced green grape. And then there's a ton of detail here on the walnuts or pecans on the top. It just looks so good, a lot of detail, and they outdid themselves with all the piping. This one just looks good enough to eat. It looks so good. It's definitely making me a little hungry doing these readings. But anyway, let's get right into your cards, guys. So you got the 7 of Swords, Ace of Swords, the 8 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, King of Pentacles, the Devil, the 7 of Wands, Death, Temperance reversed, and the Emperor. So what I'm getting for you guys is that it's almost like time for you guys to enter into this new portal of wealth and abundance. And I do feel like there's some steps you need to go through in the meantime. I do feel like some of you guys may be surrounded by people who are a little bit of maybe a jealous or backstabber kind of energy, and it may be time to take stock of some of the people in your life and reassess who you want to be there. I also feel like this could be a call to reassess some of your personal habits and make some adjustments, but I do see that ultimately at the end of this, it's coming into a ton of wealth and abundance. And I also see that it is happening soon with Temperance being reversed. I feel like when you come out of this, not only are you going to be in King of Pentacle energy, but you're also going to be in Queen of Cups energy and Emperor energy. So there's a ton of power at the end of this. This is about you guys coming into your personal power and really realizing your full potential and letting go of things that are holding you back and starting to break through that with this Ace of Swords energy and no longer tolerating kind of anyone who isn't fully on your side or any bad habits on your end. So it's really about taking stock of what's going on in your life, clearing out some of the bad stuff, and making way for a lot of the new blessings that want to come in. With the Wheel of Fortune, it can indicate a lot of luck, abundance, money, and overall good fortune coming into your life. And I feel like with the Emperor being the final card, once you leave this stage in your life, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to be a lot more powerful than you were, have a lot more money than you did when you came in, and some of the things that have been holding you back from abundance are going to be going away during this process. We did get the Death card, which shows that certain things in your life are going to be ending. And I do feel like this may have to do with the 7 of Swords, which can indicate some dishonesty from people around you and people not paying you what they owe you, or people not treating you as fairly as they should, people who may have ulterior motives. And that's echoed as well by the Devil. So you may have people around you that it may be necessary for you to reassess and start questioning their intentions. You may have people that are kind of like fake friends that may pretend to be excited for you and to be on your side, but actually aren't and actually don't want to see you succeed. And I feel like once you kind of pluck them out of your life, I feel like It's just going to be amazing how quickly the abundance comes in. With temperance reverse, it would indicate that it's going to happen quick, immediately, and very fast. I am getting the image of kind of like if you've ever seen a close-up shot of a tick being pulled out of someone's body with some tweezers. Maybe that sounds a little gory, but it's not too crazy to look at. But you do take those tweezers and you have to pull it out, and it's almost like, it's sucking your blood when you let it stay on there. And again, I'm not trying to be gory, but I just feel like some of you guys may have a tick, and it could be also in the form of your own like bad behaviors or maladaptive practices in your life, that spirit is going to make it difficult for you to continue these things. This is kind of like a purge to bring in the beautiful new energy that spirit wants to bring you. And I feel like by the time you emerge, you feel a lot happier. With the Queen of Cups, you're in a lot better place. And it's almost like also with the Queen of Cups, one of the bad sides can be being a little too forgiving, being a little too compassionate. The Queen of Cups is overall such a positive, beautiful card, but the only thing is that she can maybe, be a little too sweet, a little too nice. And maybe this is a call from spirit for you guys to start being a little more judgmental of people around you and taking stock of all the stuff happening in your life. So with that being said, other cards we got are the Phoenix, and that is reversed, and the description says resurrection, surrender to change. Then we got, oh wait, none of these are reversed. Okay, so upright, the wise winged ones, I flipped it upside down, angelic help, miraculous aid, the prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness, and the camel boy, small steps asking for help, swan queen, transformation, intuition, patience. So this is all about, kind of a death moment, which will culminate in a resurrection and in a new beginning. This is about letting go of poverty consciousness or self-sabotage. Some of you guys may have, routines or practices in your life that aren't serving you and aren't for your highest good. Maybe for some of you guys, it's spending too much time in like an escape world, like, playing video games or just not focusing or something. And I feel like your angels are coming in to intervene, give you some angelic help, and helping you to transform yourself, helping you to not tolerate bad behavior from others, and just an overall glow up moment. Some of you guys may be adapting, I feel like, a better health and fitness routine or making health changes. You might have something tugging at your intuition of like, I know I need to change this. I know I need to get better at this, but you've been putting it off, and spirit is going to speed up that process. And I am getting the message from spirit that if you are to fully embrace that, lean into the change rather than fighting it, that you are going to have immense blessings, and there's going to be so much reason to celebrate. So don't be afraid of these changes. Don't be annoyed by this, because it's like a glow up moment. It's like that moment when someone finally says no more and puts their foot down and finally makes those changes that has been coming for a really long time. So this really is about changing your life in very deep ways and no longer engaging in practices that sabotage you or that don't serve your highest good. And that may also be tolerating people around you, because I do feel like there are people around you that don't fully want to see you glow up. Maybe they would be intimidated if they saw you at your highest power, looking like your best self, being your healthiest self, and exuding and emanating this pure power. So this is about taking stock of the people in your life and starting to make clearance, as well as towards yourself, starting to clear things out that may be unhealthy practices that you've been engaging in and that you need to switch up. Other cards we got: zombie, control, joy, rejoicing in the present, and skull of light, illumination. So it's funny because zombie is literally something that was like dead and it comes out of the grave, right? And it becomes reborn as a zombie. And so it's like, this is about you guys having an ending in your life and then becoming a new person, rising up like a phoenix and taking on a new stock in life and taking on a new energy and taking stock of the things that brought you to a low point and clearing those out. I feel like for some of you guys, there are things that you engage in. Maybe I could see someone drinking too much. The devil card can talk about addictions of any kind. It doesn't have to be to alcohol. It could be to literally anything. I mean, people can get addicted to like shopping or overeating or whatever. And it may be time for you to really start making the work, or even asking for help for some of you guys. Maybe a professional could help you with this, or you could get some help from someone who's been through something similar. But for some of you guys, it's clearing really ingrained practices that have been in your life for a long time and just starting to move them out and purge them out. And I feel like it's almost going to be such a relief when you let go of these and when you welcome in this new energy. It's going to bring you a lot of joy, and Spirit is going to illuminate what those things are in your life. So if you're confused and you're like, well, what will this be? Well, I don't get it. I feel like I'm doing everything right. Well, just wait a minute, because I do feel like Spirit is going to bring to mind anything that you could be changing. And I find that when I'm working on manifestation magic, most of the time, that's one of the ways it manifests is Spirit will bring to my mind, like we think sometimes with manifestation that it's just basically going to fall into our lap. And to a certain extent, that is true. But most of the time, I feel like with my guides, they will bring things into my mind that I need to change to bring that in. So suddenly, if I am trying to manifest money, they will put an idea in my head of like, you should try this, or you should work on that. Or maybe you should stop buying this, or maybe you should stop doing that. Or if I'm trying to manifest, a certain type of physical appearance, maybe they will say, you could adjust this, you should start adding this in, or you should cut that out. And so the thing is that this is helping you achieve your manifestations. And it doesn't have to be that you are doing something horrifically dysfunctional to bring in this energy of change. It could just be that you're not as on point as you could be, but Spirit is going to bring these things to mind. And I do feel like they're going to do it in a gentle way. So it's not going to be one of those life changes that is super traumatic, like, oh my gosh, Spirit, why did you rip the rug out from under me? That's not what's going to happen. They are going to give you guys the choice, and I feel like a lot of you guys are going to take that choice and run towards it and actually make the decision that you want to embrace a healthier life, a better life overall, and it's going to bring you a lot of joy and a lot of abundance. This is going to be something that moves you forward in such a positive direction, and it's going to be a celebration moment. Of course, whenever we start ending things in our lives, it can be painful in that moment to make that change and to switch it up. But ultimately, it benefits us so much, and we're so much happier in the long term when we choose to clear out the old and bring in the new. So don't be afraid of these changes. Don't be nervous about them. You should welcome them in and be excited about them, because again, they're benefiting you guys so much, so deeply. And I do feel like overall, this is just a huge positive for you guys. So please don't be afraid. Please welcome this in, even though it may seem a little scary to have things ending in the moment. So we also got peaks of joy. So more joy energy. This is really just going to be so happy for you guys. Fields of dreams, balancing act, and compass. So for some of you guys, I feel like it's like this isn't even going to be a dramatic change. It's about making small adjustments and learning how to balance certain things in your life. I feel like some of you guys need to learn how to have a balanced diet or a more balanced lifestyle where you're divided between work and home life. And this is about an overall glow up over your whole life. So some of you guys, I really feel, are going to be adapting better health and fitness routines. And some of you guys, I feel, are going to be doing a lot more education. I feel like this is almost just like a commitment on your part to bettering yourself. So maybe you guys will be learning a language, or changing your look up, maybe changing your hairstyle, or going out and buying a new wardrobe, or getting new glasses, or something like that, or things that you've been putting off. I really keep getting health stuff. Like maybe you've been putting off going to get your teeth cleaned at the dentist, and you'll go ahead and go get that done. Or there's been a tooth that's been hurting and you're going to get a cavity filled. Or, maybe you guys are going to, finally sign up for that personal trainer or start educating yourself. Maybe you've been thinking about moving somewhere and you're really going to go and buy a bunch of guidebooks about what life is like in that country or something like that. But I do feel like it's like this step forward into the life you want. And this, even though it may not be as exciting as that culmination moment when, when you finally achieve everything, taking that big first step where you say, no more, I'm done, and I'm on to the next, that is such a crucial piece. And, you know, for me, when I look back at the most impactful times in my life, it was always that first step. Of course, the culmination moment is so exciting and we love to see it. And that's kind of like when the confetti rains down and, you know, you get to see the full fruition. But when I look back at what made the difference, it was always taking that first step and being brave enough to embrace a new life, or to say, I want more for myself. I don't want to be in this behavior anymore, or I don't want to be in this energy anymore. You know, sometimes it doesn't have to be that you're like, again, like I said, doing the most dysfunctional stuff ever. It can just be just a little dysfunction. But this is about taking stock of that. And then that allows you to start manifesting your dreams and come into this joy energy, come into finding what makes you happy and really redirecting your life. I feel like you guys are going to be taking stock of your whole life. And a lot of you guys are going to be switching up things that may have been ingrained in your life for a really long time, or even in your family. I'm seeing generational chains being broken. I'm seeing generational trauma being ended. Some of you guys may come from a family with unhealthy habits, and you know, maybe they ate unhealthy, and maybe your weight is higher than you would like. And now suddenly you find yourself saying, you know what, I'm going to go eat all organic, or I'm going to not eat any processed food. I'm going to cook everything myself, or I'm cutting out seed oils, which is a really great thing to do because seed oil is really unhealthy if you like research it and stuff. So anyway, but it's like, and it's a glow up moment, and it's like a chain being broken, and you guys won't even know that this brings in energy for everyone around you, because when we heal generational trauma or generational bad habits, we change our whole ancestral line. So even though people might not even understand what you're doing at first, or they might be like, why are you, oh, so you're too good to eat our food, and now you have to eat organic or something. But it may get in their head of like, you know what, they look so healthy now, they have a glow to them, and wow, like they look really good, and you know, they cooked me some organic soup and it was actually really tasty, and maybe I could try that. And of course, it doesn't have to be eating healthy, it could be anything in your life. But I do feel like a lot of you guys are, I'm seeing someone putting their foot down and slamming it down on the ground and just saying no more. Like it's like something is ending, and this allows you guys to manifest the kind of life you want, because so many of us, we have these goals, we have these ambitions, but maybe our lifestyle doesn't serve that, or our habits don't serve that. Maybe we know that we should have a different nightly routine, but we get exhausted after work and we just feel like eating a pizza and throwing on some, you know, mindless television, and we just end up spending every night doing that. And this is about, you know, being like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna cook myself something healthy. Maybe I'll hit the gym afterwards, or maybe it doesn't even have to be something extreme. It could be, I'm just gonna buy some little weights and keep them around my house, and every so often I'll just do little like arm curls, like tiny, those actually are like really good workouts if you've ever like done like tiny moves to the side. It actually really is. So I feel like though these are small changes that make a big difference. And for some of you guys, it's a dramatic change, but it's like we sometimes envision a life. Like we envision, you know, I would love to look like that, but we don't necessarily take the steps. And this is about you guys taking those steps, because it's like you can't grow these dreams in a field that's barren, where you're not taking the steps to do exactly that. Like you can't become a nuclear physicist if you never have read a book. You know what I mean? You just can't. I don't know. Maybe you could if you're like just a really good audio learner. But I feel like for most of us, like we have to take those steps in order to accomplish what we want. And this is about you guys getting really honest with yourself and being really real about, what am I doing? Am I aligned with the things I'm trying to manifest, or can I make changes? So I feel like as much as it may be difficult for some of you guys to make those realizations, ultimately it's so positive, and you guys just come into a way better energy as a result of it. It's just a huge blessing overall, even though in the meantime you may be like, I would just like to skip ahead to the to the fulfillment process. This is putting you totally in alignment with that. So we also got 5 of Swords, we got Justice, 5 of Pentacles, the Fool, aka Awakening, we got the Knight of Pentacles, and we got the Sun. So this is all about, again, 5 of Swords and 7 of Swords are very similar energies in my opinion. And I love the description here. It says, an unwise choice. There's a better way that will make you happier. Avoid people who lack integrity or who have questionable motives. And you can see that this is people gambling, maybe someone stealing some money. So this is all about taking stock of kind of like the unhealthy habits and unhealthy people in our lives, because they can really hold us back. Some of you guys may have people around you who are very conniving or snake-like or even jealous. And I feel like for some of you guys, this is about starting to really take stock and take an honest look of it and starting to cut out those people. For some of you guys, it has kept you in poverty energy with the Five of Pentacles. And this is about you guys taking a really strong look, like you're the judge. You are the judge and jury of your life, right? You are the one who makes those decisions. And Justice card can be a call to really look closely at the people in our lives or everything going on in our lives, even ourselves, and looking at it and taking it with as much good judgment as we can. And for some of you guys, this is going to be a real change in your opinion of things. Maybe in the past, you know, you would defend like, yeah, my family's dysfunctional, but it's always been like that. Or like, you don't know what my dad went through. So, and it's like suddenly you're like, I don't know if I want to tolerate this anymore. Or, you know, like I said, with the unhealthy metaphor where you were always like, well, that's just how my family eats. And they just, you know, they always have eaten this way and that's just how it is. And now you're like, but you know what? I could just cook this in a healthier way. And why won't I? Like, why wouldn't I? And so it's just a change in perspective for a lot of you guys. It's a reassessment. It's getting a kind of second opinion that I feel like is going to be a lot more honest and look at things through a much harsher lens in a good way, because while we do want to be like love and light and we want to be non-judgmental, there can be being too much of that way, and then that can hold us back from our highest destiny. And I do feel like this change is about you guys stepping into your highest destiny and really looking at your life under a microscope with a lot of judgment and discernment to try to see what you can fix and improve. And I feel like a lot of you guys might know what this is. There's something that's been nagging at you, and honestly, I'm not surprised that this is coming up in a New Year's reading right after the new year, right after this new moon, because there is so much here about reassessing your life. And honestly, some of you guys might want to use that keen link in my bio, because honestly, I feel like so many of you guys in this pile in particular would benefit from speaking to someone about this and having them redirect you a little bit, because I do feel like some of you guys need some redirection, and this is going to come up organically, but it might speed up the process so you can be further down the line for your New Year's. But this is really about you guys looking at your life, looking at your choices, and reassessing everything. I do feel like this is going to put you on the path to pursuing more money with the Knight of Pentacles. This is going to put you on the path towards sun energy, which is a time of happiness. It may feel hard in the meantime to reassess, to look closely at your life, and to really parse things over with a fine-tooth comb and, you know, cut out things that aren't serving you. That's never the fun part. The fun part is the celebration, but the preparation or the having to cut things out is always difficult. But you know, the end result is what makes you happy. It's difficult to stay in stagnant energy. It's difficult to be around people that aren't serving your highest good. It's difficult to miss out on your destiny. And that's what you guys are starting to put your foot down about. You're starting to realize that keeping people who are dysfunctional or keeping dysfunctional behaviors around you because it's temporarily easier is more painful in the long term. And while it may be hard to put those boundaries up, it's going to make you so much happier at the end of things. And so this is you guys committing to that. And I feel like a lot of you guys will be making those New Year's lists of like, I really want to make this adjustment to that. I really want to change that. And this really is the perfect time with that new moon that just happened. This is going to be a perfect time for you guys to really reassess and put those intentions out for what you want to leave in the past and what you want to bring in. And again, Keen would be great at that. But anyway, of course, if you don't want to call, you don't have to, but I'm just saying that keeps coming up. So we also got 35, lost compass, getting back to integrity. 36, lost in space, needing direction. 2 and 5, 8. beloved radical acceptance and vanishing mirror ego sublimation. So a lot of this is about getting rid of your ego and, getting rid of this feeling like I should have figured things out already, or I'm right. And you kind of know deep inside that you're not right, or that you need to take these changes, but you don't want to fully admit it. You want to stay in this comfortable energy. And this is about saying, you know what? I don't care about ego. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay if I was on the right path, as long as I find the right path. I'm almost getting an image of like, how people joke about like how men don't ask directions. I don't know if that is true or not. I'm the first to always ask directions because I'm fully aware that I have horrible navigation skills, so it's no sweat off my back. If it wasn't for like my phone driving me to the right place, I would probably end up in like another country with how horrible my directional skills are. So I have no problem pulling over and asking someone, but I'm getting the image of someone who is like lost. They drove the wrong way. They have no idea where they are, and they're just too stubborn to like pull over and ask directions. And their wife is in like the passenger seat being like, John, just ask, just ask that guy. He's right there. He's like, maybe ask the gas station attendant. He'll help. He'll know. And he just refuses. He's just like, I don't want to ask. And you guys got lost. I didn't even read that as I was saying it. Like I was focusing on this, but it's so funny. You got lost in space needing direction. So really spirit confirming, like, it's like, you guys are going to, it may be hard to admit when we're on the right path, when we're on the wrong path, but it's even harder to continue driving in the wrong direction for several more hours and end up hopelessly lost in the middle of nowhere, maybe running out of gas, or, having to sleep in your car on the side of the road for the night because you can't find a hotel. So it's like, as difficult as it may be to have those moments of reassessment and have those moments of figuring out where we went wrong and having to admit to ourselves, like, you know what, I screwed up. I miscalculated. I made the wrong choice. Ultimately, it's such a happy thing to do because it gets us back to where we're supposed to be. And I feel like with Lost Compass, getting back to integrity, this is about really getting back to being honest with yourself, because I think one of the most difficult aspects of when we're kind of going down the wrong path and we know it deep inside, we can feel it, but we don't want to admit it, is that you become kind of like a self-betrayer. Like you have that feeling inside of like, girl, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. But of course, we don't want to listen. So we kind of block out that voice, like, shut up. No, I'm fine. And we start kind of turning off our intuition. And that is the most damaging thing, because eventually we stop even being able to hear it. We've muted it so low that it just kind of goes away, and you lose that beautiful voice from spirit that gives us so much direction and so much help. I mean, I rely on that voice for everything in my life, even the tiniest thing, like, what aisle should I go down in the grocery store? If I hear that voice being like, oh, no, then I turn back around and go the other aisle, and I'll come back, circle around later, but not going down if I hear that voice. So the thing is like, losing that voice is something we kind of have to do when we're deliberately and knowingly going in the wrong direction, because we don't want to hear it nagging at us all the time. So we just kind of block it out, like, oh, I can't hear you, la 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 la, kind of cover our ears and pretend like, no, I'm fine. I'm doing the right thing. And I think so many of us here do that when we're in a bad relationship or when we're at a bad job. We kind of tell ourselves like, just deal with it. And we just turn off our intuition and we just kind of try to shut it up. But usually we still hear those inklings of like, I know I'm kind of doing the wrong thing. And so there's this amazing moment of relief when we finally turn that voice back on. And even if it comes at a lost moment, like when the person that we kind of knew was shady finally breaks up with us in a really shady, demeaning way. And we're like, that stinks, but you know what? At least I can hear my intuition again, because the voice comes shouting back like, I told you. And we kind of are finally ready to admit at that moment that like, yeah, we heard it all along. So I feel like this is you guys making that choice to accept that voice, come back to integrity, and come back to listening to yourself. And for a lot of you guys, this is about coming into an accepting energy, radical acceptance of whatever's going on, not pushing against it, not trying to run away, and then redirecting yourself in such such a positive direction. So it's ultimately so positive, but we do have to take that moment of being really honest with ourselves. So we also got tsunami, wake up call, wind activation, and DNA karma. So tsunami, wake up call. I mean, this is kind of what I've been telling you guys. It's going to be a wake up call moment. And I feel like it's almost like you're finally listening to the call because you've been feeling it, you've been hearing it, but you might have been ignoring it and you can't ignore it any longer. This is going to be activated. You're going to have that moment of like, whew, I can't deny it anymore. This is happening and that's it. And for some people, there may be an aspect of karma coming through with this. It may be that, again, the people around you may have been dishonest, or sometimes when we're in a dishonest energy, it doesn't even have to be that something that is like a horrible, giant, evil act. That's not the only way to get karma. It can also be even daily betrayals of yourself or treating yourself badly. I think that sometimes people think like, oh, I'm the only one being hurt by this, so it doesn't matter. But that's not how Spirit views it. Spirit loves us as, you know, their own. So it's like, they're not going to look down on it kindly if you're treating yourself badly. Like, you should be treating yourself with self-love. You should be treating yourself with kindness. And when you're not doing that, there can be spiritual consequences. I think also people tend to think that they can kind of manage dysfunctional energy. Like they'll say about, you know, the partner, like, oh, I know my boyfriend is kind of, you know, controlling, but he's only controlling about this. And, you know, as long as I like check in with him all the time, it's not going to big deal. Or I know that my, you know, workplace is really dysfunctional, but, you know, usually I can talk my boss down and get her to stop screaming at me. So it's kind of fine. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's okay. But the reality is that one thing about dysfunctional energy is it's generally highly chaotic, which means that those people, a lot of times, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know that, you know, they are chaotic or that they are dysfunctional. So a lot of times they're bad emotional regulators, which means that if they get in a bad mood or if they get in a you know, a lot of angry situations or something, they're going to react in unpredictable ways. So maybe you can talk your boss down now, or maybe you can control, you know, how your boyfriend feels about things now. But that's not necessarily going to be fully manageable in the long term. You don't know how things could change next month if there's a really big explosion, or next year, or whatever. And so generally, I think a good rule in life is when you sense dysfunctional energy, trying to extricate yourself from that situation as soon as possible. Because again, 90% of the time, it's kind of like, you know, chemicals, working with deadly chemicals. Like, yeah, you can work with them safely, I guess, under a lot of circumstances, but there's so many stories of like people who are playing around with chemicals and their house explodes, you know? And so it's just really not something I feel like you want to mess with. And as far as karma goes, there can be really bad karma with treating yourself badly, betraying yourself every day when you feel Spirit whispering in your ear saying, this is not for you, this is not good, but you keep coming back, you keep yourself in the same situation because it's easier. There can be bad karma with that. And karma is kind of just something you carry around. It's kind of like spiritual debt. And so you're kind of accumulating spiritual debt without realizing it. And that can make it harder to achieve your goals, to achieve your manifestations. So generally speaking, I think, again, mistreating yourself, treating yourself badly, don't think that just because it's not some other person that Spirit's going to look the other way and be like, oh, it's fine. Beat yourself up, treat yourself bad. It's cool. No, they care about you just as much as anyone else. You are, you know, so special to them. So they never want to see you treating yourself bad or looking the other way about something. So we also got Two of Swords. None of these are reversed. King of Cups. We got Nine of Swords, Queen of Cups, Six of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Hanged Man. Actually, I do think this was reversed. So the message I'm getting with this is that I feel like for some of you guys, this is about people who haven't been honest with you, or it could be, again, that tip of like not being honest with your own thoughts about a certain situation. I do feel like for some of you guys, you feel very conflicted. You may have even been spending sleepless nights thinking about this, and it may be time to really prioritize your mental health and emotional well-being. With the King of Cups and Queen of Cups coming in, it may be time to really step into the authority of knowing that your emotions matter and knowing that you matter and taking the steps to fix that and to come into a better emotional state and leaving behind the things that don't serve you. So for a lot of you guys, this is about getting a different perspective. This is about you guys reassessing this situation and really coming in and making those changes that you need to make. For some of you guys, you're going to be faced with a decision with the Two of Swords. And I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to make the right decision and move forward into this empowered energy of someone who's taking an honest look at their life and is not tolerating any bad behavior anymore. So for a lot of you guys, this may seem negative at first, but it's going to be so positive. And it really is going to lead you guys into your abundant moment, into your sun energy, and into that Wheel of Fortune. And these prosperous parts of your life are going to be activated by these choices and by these endings. And while it may be a temporary painful thing, it's going to lead you into a destiny portal, into accomplishing the things that you always wanted to accomplish, becoming the person that you wanted to accomplish. Again, I'm getting for a lot of you guys, this is a health change. This is a change in lifestyle. This is embracing a healthy lifestyle. And it may be difficult at first. It may be painful at first, but ultimately it's going to benefit you so much. And you guys are going to come out of it so much happier. So I really feel like even though it may not be that celebration moment at first that you want, this is really the year of powerful change for you guys. I'm getting New Year's resolutions vibes. I'm getting new moon resolutions vibes. I'm getting this assessment of your life that benefits you so much in the long term and where you make powerful, long-lasting changes that are just going to transform your destiny and transform even your generational line so you guys come into a better energy. And I feel like with DNA karma, the fact that it says DNA is also making me think of ancestral line, ancestral trauma, ancestral curses, or bad behavior that's passed down. So for some of you guys, you might not have had those parents that ate healthy or that, you know, were really had a super strong emotional lifestyle. Some of you guys, you may be working through trauma and learning how to talk to a therapist or to a keen advisor because they can help with kind of some of this stuff, or, you know, figuring out better emotional ways of dealing with certain situations. Figuring out, you know, I feel like so many of us can grow up with parents that react to things in an immature way or never really learned how to break, you know, childhood trauma stuff. And this is about you guys choosing to have better emotional reactions to things. So maybe instead of stress eating or instead of getting angry about a situation, you learn how to work through your emotions productively. I think that's a word, and in a very productive way, in a positive way, so that you can also pass this down to your kids and really make changes in your life. So this is about leaving behind the bad, embracing the good, and it's going to benefit you guys so much in the long term. I'm so excited and happy for you guys to be coming into this energy. I really feel like this is my transformative pile that's going to make these massive changes this year and going to come out so much stronger for next year. So I really hope it helped you guys. Like I said, definitely check out that Keen link. I just feel like this pile in particular, some of y'all would really benefit from this kind of New Year intention setting services that they provide. So some of y'all just, I don't know, you might want to check that out. But anyway, it's totally up to you guys, but check it out if you want to, as well as my Patreon. And I will be back very soon for another reading. Let me know in the comments if it resonated and leave it a big thumbs up if it did, and I will see you guys very shortly for another video, so make sure you're subscribed. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Pile 4. So if you guys picked this delicious looking chocolate cake, this is going to be your reading. I absolutely love the fruit on the top. You can see there's a blueberry, a kiwi slice, and this little slice of what I think is pineapple with that little notch there, as well as a big bright red cherry, and amazing detailing on the piping, as well as the little glaze that even drips down the side, and then little chocolate crumbles decorating the side. It honestly looks so good, like it could come right out of a bakery. I'm definitely going to be hungry by the time I finish this reading from looking at all these cakes. They look so scrumptious. But anyway, let's get right into your reading. You guys got 4 of Pentacles reversed, 5 of Cups, Seven of Wands, Queen of Wands, Nine of Wands, Six of Cups, the Moon, Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and Queen of Cups. So what's coming through for you guys is that this has been a long time coming. And I do feel like a lot of you guys are going to reach a culmination point in your career or in your life of something that you've been fighting for a really long time, that you've had to put a lot of effort into it. And it's come through a lot of fighting, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. And it's about to reach that final moment of achievement where you guys are going to step into Queen of Wands energy. I do feel like this is going to be a moment for you guys to celebrate, and it brings you a lot of emotional gratification. Both of these lines are ended with cup cards, Six of Cups and Queen of Cups. They're both very positive cards that talk about emotional fulfillment. So I do feel like at the end of this journey, it's almost like there's an aspect of surprise on your part of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I made it. I can't believe I worked so hard and that I finally reached the end. It almost may have seemed endless at times with the amount of work you were putting in. It may have seemed like it would just never end and it was just going to be going on forever. But I do feel like there is a celebration moment of like, okay, I did it. We finally reached it. So it may be some kind of public professional achievement. I do feel like there are others that see you doing really well, and it's almost like you may have to defend your perspective or defend the position you've reached. But I do feel like it's super gratifying to you guys because you put the work in and you do get to see it pay off. You planted the seeds and you get to see them come to harvest. So it's an amazing moment of gratification and fulfillment for you guys. I think you guys will be very satisfied by the results of this. So more cards we got are the Fire Prince, no surprise since there's so much fire energy here, and it says optimism, aggression, and then the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding, the Well Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine, the Eyes of Beauty, positive expectations, clarity, Spirit Whisper, divine guidance, higher knowing, and the Cosmos, creativity, vastness. I feel like in a way, after you guys complete this task, it's almost like you're asking what's next. And I do feel like for a lot of you guys, a creative project may come to mind. I do feel like there's something you kind of receive from the universe. It's almost like you're so used to being in this fighting energy, having to fight for everything that comes your way, having to push so hard that there's kind of like a what now energy that happens when you guys reach that final achievement. There's a little bit of a moment of pause of like, okay, we did that, so what's next? But I do feel like for those of you guys who have set goals, this is talking about the achievement of those goals. And I almost feel like a lot of you guys are going to reach them in a timeline that surprises you. It is going to happen faster than you expected. It is going to happen with a lot of speed. And so again, there's this kind of surprise that I'm getting coming through of like, I can't believe it happened, not easily because there was a lot of work involved, but I can't believe it happened on that timeline, or I can't believe I actually did it, or I can't believe that came through the way it did. And so then I think it almost allows you guys, once you've checked that box off, to move on to other things that you might enjoy. So it's almost like you come back to yourself and you're able to ask the question of like, what makes me happy? What do I really love doing? What satisfies me? And I feel like these questions are things that you didn't ask for a long time because you were working so hard that you kind of couldn't ask yourself what really stirs your soul. And for some of you guys, this is going to be creative work or some kind of work that has a spiritual dimension, because I do feel like most spiritual or creative work is kind of downloads from the universe. So for some of you guys, you may have had a creative project that you felt called to do, but you were putting it off of like, I would love to write that book, but I just don't have the time. And now this gives you the space to do some of that. I also feel like for some of you guys, this may involve going out or like actually spending time out in the world, dressing up, going out to a nice restaurant, going out and having fun. And that may be something that you just didn't have time for, but now there's this space, there's this kind of emptiness in your life, but in a really positive way that I think creates space for the universe to fill it. It doesn't feel like an empty hole that is just like this empty little sad area. It feels like there's this lovely space for you to do exactly what it is you want. And I feel like you guys are surprised by that because, again, it's almost like you've had your eyes on the prize so much that you really didn't even ask yourself, like, what happens next after I achieve it? I'm always amazed that, like, when I set a goal for myself, sometimes if I achieve it, I'm kind of like, huh, okay, like it, it sometimes you imagine something will happen when you achieve it, and then you're like, okay, so what now? And it can get kind of boring if you're just focused on like, well, I did that, so never gonna do anything again in the future. So it seems like right after you achieve this, honestly, you guys are so excited and happy, but it also then moves into like that what now energy where you're coming up with something else. And I do feel like this next project that you guys are going to set your sights on, it's going to be a lot more fulfilling than the one you're currently working on. I do feel like some of you guys have been feeling the urge to do creative work or a creative task. And now that this space in your life is created, you can really focus on those things that you enjoy. And for some of you guys, again, this may be going out, partying a little bit. It may be even that you're, in a little bit of a sexual energy with the Queen of Wands, and you're able to feel sexy and go out and get all dressed up, and, you're being very attractive. But I do feel like there's this energy where you're not having to fight so much, and you're finally kind of considering, what do I like? What do I want? What do I enjoy? And I feel like a lot of this is downloads that comes from the universe. Like spirit will give you guidance of like, I've been telling you need to write music, or I've been telling you need to do painting or something, or I've been telling you that you should start a fashion blog or something. Like some of you guys I feel like might be good at that, or like a fashion Instagram. I don't know, but there's this thing that's coming through that I feel like it's almost like a delightful surprise. That's the word that comes to mind, is delightful surprise. Like there's something that opens up in your life that you're like, huh, I really didn't even imagine that, but now it makes perfect sense. And in a way, it's like because your mind was so riveted on this other project that you really didn't see it coming. But once that project is completed, then it just is like so obvious to you. And you're like, of course, that's exactly right. So we also got Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities, Graveyard, Unnecessary Fear, and Skeleton Strength. So I do feel like there's something very joyful about this next project that you guys will be working on. And with Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities, I feel like I just keep seeing that it's almost like your life opens up. Like you've almost been looking through a very narrow view, a very narrow window out at the world, being very focused on one certain goal in particular, and it's been taking up almost all of your attention and your focus. And when this clears away, suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. I could do that. And you really start to question what stirs your soul, what you really enjoy, what really speaks to you on a deep level. And you're not so much focused, because some of this is coming from fear energy. Maybe some of you guys have really had to worry recently about paying the bills, or about your financial situation, or about your career situation. And so I feel like that is going to start falling away, and you're going to be able to have a little bit more free time to focus on what it is that you really want to accomplish. For a lot of you guys, this may be more free time. It may be that the job you've been working at, suddenly the hours get cut a little back, or you were worried about money, but suddenly you make the money, and you don't have to spend as many hours, you don't have to put in overtime, or you don't have to take on as many clients, or whatever this is. But it's like the fear goes away, the fixation on, am I going to make enough? Do I have enough? Am I doing enough? Goes away. And then we see the kind of sky opening up into these endless possibilities of what really stirs my soul, what really genuinely makes me happy. And there is going to be an aspect, especially with the moon card, of tapping into your intuition and seeing what spirit wants you to do, because spirit has a mission for all of us. And I think for so many people that comes through in creative projects, so many people tune into spirit when they're doing creative work. And so for a lot of us, I feel like there are creative goals and endeavors, especially in this group, that would be meaningful to your spiritual mission on this earth. Even if you're just writing fan fiction or something and like 5 people read it, you know what I mean? That could still make all the difference to those 5 people. And maybe a lot of people are going to read it. I don't know. Or maybe you're making, like I said, an Instagram account for fashion, and it may not seem that important to you, but it really speaks to people's soul. I do feel like there's the possibility for some of you guys that this may be a side hustle or a side hobby that turns into a long-term career option for you guys. So this really could be a pivotal turning point. But I feel like for all of you guys, whether this stays as a hobby or a turns into a full-time thing, it's going to give you a lot of gratification and a ton of happiness with the Queen of Cups. And you guys have been so strong for so long, and I feel like Spirit wants to acknowledge that they have seen how hard you guys have worked, and they have seen that you guys have had to struggle, and so they're kind of taking the burden off. It's kind of like you passed the test, and now they're going to dial things back a little bit. So there is that aspect of like taking the pressure off. Things are cooling down a little, and there's a lot more space and joy for you guys. I'm so happy. So we got the 5 of Wands, or excuse me, the 9 of Wands. Well, there's a ton of wand cards, so maybe that'll come out. 6 of Wands, Page of Wands, Ace of Swords, back to the Wands, 8 of Wands, and finally the Hierophant. I mean, crazy amount of wand cards coming out. So yeah, wand cards can really talk about, fire energy and having a lot of enthusiasm and energy and kind of vivacity. I think that's a word. Vivaciousness. I don't know. Whatever version of vivacious. But I do feel like this is like a kind of like a second wind. Maybe it will energize your life. A lot of you guys have really had to work hard on this. And again, it's been a long time coming. And so I do feel like there's a reassessment sometimes of like, well, how much energy am I putting into that? But really what I'm seeing here is just the culmination. We have so many higher card numbers. Or higher wand numbers. So to me, this really is that kind of culmination moment. Like it's like the energy that you put in is really paying off. And there's a level of success here. There's a level also of public acclaim. And 6 of Wands can really talk about publicity or social media. So I feel like for some of you guys, again, you may be posting it on any kind of public platform, be it Instagram or Facebook, although I don't know, it's hard, I think, to market on Facebook, or to make like a brand. I feel like Instagram is good at that. TikTok is good at that. YouTube, or any kind of website or any kind of public platform, you may be getting a lot of acclaim and it may be leading to something there. I do feel like this kind of time in your life, it really feels celebratory, and it feels like you did a lot and you've kind of had to fight your way to the top, and a lot of that has paid off, and we have reached a moment of like, okay, it's done. We kind of did what we needed to do, and we have reached success. And so even though I feel like there may have been a little bit of stress leading into that, it does feel like you're ready to move on kind of to the next, in my opinion. And I do feel like with the Ace of Swords coming in, there may be an idea that comes to you, a brilliant moment of foresight. Like for some of you guys, it's like, oh, I should start a cooking blog, or oh, I should write about this, or oh my God, I should publish my photographs to Instagram. But there's some insight that I feel like Spirit will give you guys that will really allow you guys to step forward in the direction you guys want, and you will be getting divine downloads. And for some of you guys, with the Hierophant coming out, you may be leaving behind something traditional. It may be that you were working at a 9 to 5 and now suddenly you have a side job that allows you to go full time, and you're not at a 9 to 5 at all. You're working for yourself, or you're doing something unconventional. And for others of you, it may be that you're very comfortable in that, you want to stay in that, but I do feel like you guys will be doing something that's creative on the side, and you won't just be as rooted in this job or in this traditional position. You guys aren't going to be having to fight as hard. There is a moment of kind of like achievement of like, we reached the top. I'm hearing that line, which I always hear from a Madonna song. I think it's Like a Virgin, which is so funny because it has nothing to do with the lyric that always comes to mind, but it's like, it's like we made it through the wilderness. Somehow we made it through. And so it's like you guys are fighting. And I do feel like there's an aspect for some of you guys where this energy of having to fight does continue. This energy of like you're at the top, but you still have competition. It's not fully over yet. It's not like you just can sit back on a beach and just sip Mai Tais, but it just feels like something opens in your life. So there's a level of comfort that you reach where even if you're still having to fight people off a little bit, it does feel like it becomes so much easier, and you can kind of take a load off, and there's a space opening. There's a room for something else. There's more time to do a hobby or to focus on your family or to think about what you want. So I think sometimes that can just happen naturally as the result of achieving the things we want, because sometimes we put all these ideas on what is that going to mean if I accomplish that? Oh my gosh, my life will be perfect if I can make that happen. And of course, life is never fully perfect. There's always, life in a way, it's always perfect, but then it's never perfect. You know what I mean? Getting philosophical here, but I do feel like, we always sometimes think like, oh, I'll be perfectly happy if this happens. But the reality is we were put on this earth to experience all different kinds of things. So whenever we check one thing off, it's kind of like our mind naturally goes to, what can I do next? What else will excite me? What else will bring me a little bit of a challenge? And I do feel like Spirit is going to bring something else to you, where if there's a hobby you guys have been putting off or something else you've been trying to do, then that will happen. And for you guys, this also could just be a time in your life that's very exciting with that fire energy coming in. It could be that you're going out more and you're being seen out and about. You might be going out to nightclubs, restaurants, bars, and having a lot of fun, and even having an elevated status in that. You may be belonging to a group or like a clique that's kind of cool, and everyone knows you around town, or everyone sees you going out, something like that. But it does seem like you guys are reaching this, I keep saying culmination point, but that's what's coming to mind, reaching this kind of victory level, and then looking around and seeing what else you want to fill your life with. So we also got Ghost Lands, One Ring Circus, and Heal the Ouch. So I do feel like this is kind of like a soothing time for you a little bit. Like there may be things from your past that now you have the time to deal with. And I'm not even feeling like some of you guys, maybe of course all of us might be going through a journey of working through trauma or fixing things from the past, but I'm really getting the energy here is like more along the lines of just, it may be that it wasn't even deep trauma. It was just you were tired and you were kind of overwhelmed, and that starts to go away, and it becomes a lot easier for you to deal with your life. And there's something healing about doing this hobby, because sometimes when we kind of ignore that spiritual, creative side of us, it can honestly be a little bit painful. We can really start feeling a little bit lost and a little bored, and like we just aren't seeing the things in our life that we want to see. So I feel like with One Ring Circus coming in, your life becomes a lot more entertaining to you. You become a lot more fulfilled. It's almost like you go from that boring kind of 9 to 5 life of plugging in the hours and all your time is accounted for, and you're working through your lunch break and you're working late and it's just very routine, to oh, I suddenly have a full afternoon to myself, and what do I want to do? And I feel like that may happen regularly to you guys. And so it becomes an ongoing project that you guys will be working on. With Ghostlands, it's like you're going to be taking stock of the things in your life that no longer serve you, the things that are kind of dead and over but are still hanging around like ghosts. And for some of you guys, this is a lifestyle that you no longer need to engage in. You might be like one of those people that loves to work late at the office or loves to take on a million projects, and somehow your boss is just like, no, Amelia has got this, don't worry about it. And so next thing you know, you're kind of just like, Huh, okay. Well, I can't even take on this extra work. I would love to. I'm used to this, but I don't know. But something is clearing out in your life, and there's going to be space made. And I feel like the universe is going to really invigorate you guys with this real, almost obsession for a new hobby. Like, I feel like what's coming to mind is like someone that never cooks and has never cooked, and they always get takeout. And then suddenly they just decide to try to cook a meal one night because why not? And next thing they know, they're like looking up cooking videos and they're like obsessed with it. And they, start following like celebrity chefs, or they order a bunch of cookbooks, or they order a bunch of like crazily unique, rare ingredients, maybe from, another culture or something. And they start figuring out how to cook and they become an expert cook. Or they become really into a certain type of interest. Maybe they become really into a certain band or a certain type of music, or they become obsessed with a certain country. But it just seems like this is something that comes into your life that starts out as just kind of filling a little bit of a hole, and then just ends up being something that gives you such invigoration, gives you such energy. And that could be why we did get the Page of Wands and the Ace of Swords, very enthusiastic cards, and so much fire energy, which is innately enthusiastic, is because I feel like it imbues you with a lot of enthusiasm. It's almost like you get your zest for life back. You get your love and your enthusiasm and your zeal back, And I mentioned this before, but there was this poster in my school that said this, and I memorized it, and I'm going to repeat it, but it says, zeal, an enthusiasm that brings the extraordinary from the ordinary. So that's what's coming to mind, is like you have such enthusiasm. Isn't it funny that I memorized that? I remember one time someone randomly asked for the definition of the word zeal, and I raised my hand and knew it. And I think they thought I had memorized the whole dictionary. People were in shock, but that was just like the only word that I know because of that poster. But it was just funny how that happened. But I do think that this is about getting that zeal back, getting that enthusiasm that, it might not even seem that interesting to someone else. You might have memorized like the different types of berry varietals that grow in the Pacific Northwest, and let's go out and pick them. And someone else is like, I don't care about this at all. Why would anyone be interested? Or you want to collect like model cars or something, or if you're like me and you love fake food, like other people might not get it, but it brings you happiness. I love my fake food, and now so many of my followers are like, oh, I love it too. And it's been such a great thing to see so many people who also enjoy fake food. So I just feel like this is something that you really like, you really enjoy, and it brings you happiness. And there's this space in your life where suddenly it kind of takes center stage in a way that it didn't before. And I really feel like it's going to be productive. I feel like some of you guys, you might find a way to monetize it, or even if you don't monetize it, it may be something that just brings you such joy. Like maybe you're into a band that, that it doesn't make you any money or anything, but you feel such happiness when you listen to their songs, or, you love watching interviews, or you love a certain type of actor or actress or something like that, and you just absolutely love everything that they do and it makes you happy. Something like that. And maybe no one else gets it, or a TV show or whatever, but it's going to bring you joy. And I feel like there's something about it that kind of gets you through the hard times and brings you happiness and brings you enthusiasm. And honestly, I feel like it helps you level up. I honestly feel like this is very positive. Like I don't feel like it's a bad obsession of like, oh, you're wasting your time. I feel like there's something here for you. Some of you guys, if you are like, oh, I love this celebrity, you could watch my reading about that I made. Why are you drawn to a certain public figure? So it's like, I feel like there's something in this for you guys to get out of it that like just invigorates you and brings you on a destiny path. So we also got forest breath, dragonfly emergence, and mountain strength. So again, with forest breath, it feels like there's space in your life. Some of you guys, I feel like, might be able to spend more time in nature if that was a goal for you. And you may also be able to spend more time working out. It seems like a lot of you guys are going to have like the afternoon free. Maybe you were working in the office and now you work from home or something like that. But it just seems like your time is freed up. It seems like you have more room in your life. And that's where this other interest is able to emerge and grow. And I really feel like there's something about this interest that's almost like a destiny moment. Not every destiny moment is going to be like standing on the bow of a ship. And destiny moments can come in the form of like, I think you listen to so many like actors and actresses and they talk about, what made you decide to become an actress or whatever. And they'll say like, oh, I became obsessed with this movie when I was little, or I absolutely loved this actor. He was my favorite. He always made me laugh. And even if it was a silly movie, like it was some little comedy that, had no supposedly deep meaning, it's a destiny moment for them because it points them in the direction that is going to define their life. And I feel like for some of you guys, this is a destiny moment where you develop this interest in this thing, and it's really something that is either going to sustain you through hard times, or it's going to point you in the direction of a career, or I just keep getting destiny for some of you guys. So it emerges, it kind of comes out of the mist, and suddenly you're like, huh. Like, I'm seeing the Mists of Avalon. So that's a book. And, it's like maybe you just randomly download an audiobook and you listen to it and you develop an obsession with Arthurian medieval, or I don't know if that's medieval or maybe Dark Ages or maybe even before that, but like the Arthurian period of English history or something, or English history in general, and you're learning about the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages, and you're learning about the 1800s, but it's something that is going to point you down some kind of a path, give you something. Maybe you're supposed to move to England, and so that's why Spirit has put this in your mind and given you that niggling feeling of, why can't I stop thinking about this? Why does my mind keep coming back to it? And so it doesn't have to be, every destiny moment doesn't have to be fireworks, although they are depicted in this. So maybe that's another confirmation. But I do feel like, destiny moment can come in all different kind of forms. And this is something that is pulling you down a path in a direction that's going to be very important and impactful for you guys. And again, we have mountain strength, acknowledgement that it's been a long time coming. Some of y'all have been through a lot of hard work, and it's like you really deserve to have this respite, to have this break, to have this deep breath and moment of pause. And you're going to get it, because for so many of you guys, it's almost like you've been in survival mode for a long time. You've been having to focus on making money and pushing through and working really hard. And Spirit wants to give you a breath. They're almost saying to me, you've earned it. You guys have had to work so hard. It's been a long time coming, and we've seen the work, we've seen the effort, and we're going to free things up. And it may come out of the blue. It may be that, you budgeted for the whole year and you worked out, crunched the numbers, and you're like, it's going to be tight. I'm just not going to have the money. I'm going to have to work every single day. I can't even pull any sick days. I just have to power through because there's not going to be any money. And Spirit's like, nope. And they pull some strings, and suddenly your schedule opens up. And not only is your schedule open, but you have the money you needed. You have the money to cover all your expenses and even a little additional. And you have a better schedule, and you have an easier time. I feel like Spirit is saying that the work has been a long time coming, and they've seen it. And so they are going to put some rewards in place. And then that's going to open this space for this beautiful, happy interest to come in. So we also got Judgment, Knight of Swords, Death, Five of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles. I don't know if I said Ace of Swords, but anyway, that is the Ace of Swords. And with the Five of Pentacles reversed, that's kind of exactly what I was talking about. I do feel like for a lot of this pile, y'all have been struggling with money, and it's been hard. It's been a budgeting process. You guys have had to be crunching numbers and maybe, having to not eat the best food, or, go a little easy on like I would love to buy that chocolate cake, but I can't. I can't buy that expensive pastry because my budget is super tight, or I can't get takeout or whatever. You guys have had to be careful about your money. You guys have been worrying and having a lot of stress about, well, like, will I afford it? And I do feel like for a lot of you in this pile, that is going to end. And we are going to see Five of Pentacles energy ending and reversing. So you're going to be coming out of that. There is a death energy of, I feel like for a lot of you guys have been so stressed. And that may be why you guys have had, it just feels like your life was very stacked, very tight, like no free time, no moment free, unaccounted for. Everything was so busy because you were having to worry about this money, you were having to worry about work. And so it does seem like that is starting to switch up, and you're coming into an energy where the bills are paid, the time is a little bit more free, the job feels a lot more certain than it did before. It doesn't feel like you guys are scrambling around as much and looking over your shoulder and constantly worrying about this bill, or what is my supervisor going to say, or am I going to be able to do it all on time. It seems like it's just so much easier for you guys in this new energy. And I do feel for you guys that you have beautiful new energy coming in. It may be that for some of you guys, this new thing that's coming in, it's hard to say in a general reading specifics, but I do feel for a lot of you guys, this would be monetizable. This would be something that would give you money. So again, it may be a side project that you start as a fun Instagram, but it turns into something you end up making money from, or a YouTube channel that you start and it ends up making money, or you start writing and next thing you know, you're like, you know, I pretty much finished it. Let me send it off to a publisher, and they accept it and they want to publish it. But it does seem like it does lead to abundance, and Nine of Pentacles is your final card for this reading, which does indicate to me that a lot of you guys are going to be coming into money this time, and it is going to be very powerful. I feel like with Judgment coming out, it is a sign for a lot of you guys that, you know, you have been on the right path, and this is something that has been a positive path, even though it may have seemed very precarious. And I am hearing that line again from Madonna. I just heard it in my ear of like, you made it through the wilderness, you know, you made it through, which I don't know why. I mean, I'm not obsessed with that song or anything, but I always hear it when people have been through a lot, and Spirit's kind of saying, you're coming out. It's kind of over now. It's okay. With Knight of Swords, a lot of you guys may be communicating on a platform, like you might be posting stuff on Instagram or writing or being a YouTuber or something, because that is speaking. But, you know, Swords is like a communicative, I don't know why I pronounce that weird, but communicative sign and element. So it is going to be an aspect of, I feel like some of you guys are going to be putting things out there and other people are going to be consuming it. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this is going to be something new that Spirit brings into your life. Or if it's been gesticulating for a while and you do have something in mind of like, oh gosh, I have this hobby that I love. I love working on model trains, or I love woodworking or something. I don't know. If you do have something in mind like that, I feel like that this is going to create the space for that. And I am getting like there may be a lot of masculines within this pile, but of course the feminines, of course, too. Always welcome the feminines. You know, they make up the vast majority of my fan base. So, but I am just getting that message coming through, maybe confirmed for some of you, but I just feel like there's going to be, if there's something you already have in mind, it's going to be that sudden clearance and that sudden success energy where it's enabled to come into your life and you're enabled to have the time to really embrace it. You're not forced to just work all the time and put it on the back burner and ignore it and just focus on like, I gotta be in survival mode. I gotta make this happen. Suddenly you guys have the room and the space to think about hobbies, to think about what makes you happy, to think about what you enjoy. And it just seems like such a positive time. So really overall, I would say this is such a strong message for success for you guys, that you're not going to have to be worrying about money as much, that you guys are going to be having abundance come in, and also that it's going to free up this room emotionally for you guys to focus on the things you love and to bring in something that is going to bring you a lot of happiness and a lot of joy and possibly even more money something that you could monetize, something that could be very productive and a destiny moment for you guys. So I am so happy for you, pile 4. This is so awesome, and I can't wait to see what this is. So leave in the comments whatever you think this is. Leave it a thumbs up if it resonated, and definitely check out that Keen link, because they can also provide you with some guidance on this for what's coming up and what to expect, and help you plan out how you're going to spend your 2022 and what kind of manifestations you want to bring in, especially since you may be bringing in a lot of this wealth energy, and you can learn to direct that. So check out the link in my bio for Keen, you guys, and give it a thumbs up over here, and make sure you're subscribed. I'll be posting another video very soon, and check out my Patreon if you want as well. But I will see you guys soon. Sending you so much love and light. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Bye.